We in here. Call-in show the week before the Super Bowl. But we got a draft to get ready for. Let's talk about it. We are here. Welcome to the Coaches Huddle. It's the boy, your coach, where the field meets family. And we've got one more game to go. Thank God. One more game. And then we officially get to focus on the business that is the offseason. A lot has changed over the past couple of weeks. I've been out of it this whole week. Forgive me, guys, but Coach got to pay the bills, man. Coach got to pay the bills. So we've been working really hard over the past week. But I did want to come in to just talk about how the board is moved. We have a Senior Bowl that's already done. We have the Shrine Bowl that's done. We've already seen some of these guys get elevated into the first round. Some of the guys that we've been looking at, some notable names have been dipped in the first round. Will Campbell being for one. A lot of new reports coming out seeing him as a guard. There's also some reports that some scouts have him as being one of the best tackles that they've seen in the draft. I have Kelvin Banks Jr. as a guard out of Texas. So there's a whole conversation around just the trenches. There's an entire conversation around what would be the X factor pick? What would be the shocker pick for you? For me, if the Niners went for a shocker pick at 11, that I'd be okay with. If the Niners went receiver at number 1, at 11 in the first round, we need one. There's a lot of reports that certain receivers are up for grabs. T. Higgins has been the notable name that's been bounced around in recent news. Also, Garrett Wilson out of the New York Jets is a name that's been bounced around. And for right now, I just want to talk about it. I want to get into your latest and greatest, how you guys feel about your mock draft, certain names that you want to talk about, certain draft strategies. Also, there's always a big conversation for Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan as far as Brock Purdy's deal is concerned, whether the Niners should play ball with him right away, immediately. Also, that's just overarching. Quick hitting news that has come out. We've gotten news right now that Devontae Adams, receiver out of New York Jets, seemingly is wanting to come out west. That's West Coast boy. I don't know if he necessarily said the Niners' name specifically, but whenever somebody of his ilk, especially where his roots, primarily being from the West Coast, wants to kind of start making some moves, we'll definitely start talking about the possibilities of that. Then we also have Media Row that just went by. Deebo Samuels, man. The Eagles jersey, man. I just, I can't leave you. I can't let you out of my sight for 1 week. 1 week. And you coming in here, popping out of that Eagles jersey like it's spring break. Puffy into that, man. Hey, Deebo Samuel, man. I'll be positive. Coach is turning over a new leaf. I'm turning over a new leaf. But Deebo, man, what are we doing? Great interviews from Deebo Samuel that I've seen over the media day, over media week for the Super Bowl festivities, but just, the optics. I had a call with somebody who's a fellow Niners fan, and he just said, doesn't it just burn you? Didn't that burn you to see Deebo with a Philadelphia Eagles jersey on. I said, no, it didn't. It didn't bother me at all. I'm out, man. It don't bother me, man. So right now we've got Chunderboy, we got Shills, we got some callers in. Want to get these guys up. Definitely you guys didn't come up here to see me monologue and talking to the screen by myself all day. So let Shills, don't agree. Stop agreeing. What the hell was that? As soon as I said, yeah, you guys don't really come up here to watch me talk about, Shills was in the background like, Shills fried me from the backstage, dog. That's crazy. I'm gonna get Chunderboy up here first, though. What's good, bro?
What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man? Talk to me, man. What you got, man? Draft, off season. You want to talk about the Super Bowl? Listen, this is my thing. Actual football is about to cease.
Right.
That's what I'm upset about. I get it. Everybody wants to see a good Super Bowl, but for me, I'm dreading it because that means that real football's done. So, right now, what do you want to get into? You want to get into the game? You want to get into Niners? I mean, you got the floor.
The draft, really.
All right.
Because there's two things that are not really in the conversation much. One that's really never in the conversation, and it bugs the crap out of me. But so the only person that's really, other than you today, actually, the only person that's really talking about a kind of a sneaky hole in the 49ers is Larry Krueger. And he talks about how the 49ers actually really need a wide receiver. Because if you look at the wide receiver court, Brandon Ayuk is probably starting the season on PUP. And even if he makes some sort of crazy recovery and comes back by the beginning of the season, he will have missed all of training camp and is probably not going to round out into form till mid-season?
Right.
We can't count on Deebo. Deebo, if he's on the team this year, we might get one or two really good games out of him this year, but he's not someone you can count on. We don't know what Ricky Pearsall is going to be, although the returns look pretty nice down the stretch last year. And, we've got George Kittle. And then, of course, we've got 3rd and Juwan. So, like, a championship team, if 3rd and Juwan is your number one wide receiver, you're not a championship team.
I agree.
Simple. So, I think that wide receiver is actually a sneaky need for this team. I would go a different direction other than wide receiver, and I'll come to that in a second. But I just want to remind everybody, people get so carried away with the draft. Like you're going to go get 4 starters who are going to totally change your team in one offseason. And that is just, it's such an unrealistic way to look at the draft.
4 starters out of the draft is a phenomenal draft, period.
Yeah. And that's a home run. The draft we just had last year is a really good draft. Mm-hmm. We got a high-end starter on our offensive line. I think, I'm super high on Malik Mustafa, probably higher than most, even though a lot of people like him. I love Malik Mustafa. We potentially got a starter at wide receiver, right? So like that's a real if that's what we got out of last year's draft, that's a really good draft. So I just want everybody to realize that there's roughly 260 draft picks every year, give or take how many comp picks and stuff there are. Mm-hmm. Like 10 guys out of the entire draft are going to make a significant impact on their team in any given year on average, and 10 guys are going to be like high end, really make an impact, and like 20 guys are going to make they're going to be a contributor on special teams or a high end rotational guy, something like that. So you've got like maybe 20, 25 guys total out of the entire draft. It's less than 10% of the draft. 1 out of every 10 draft picks is actually going to do something for their team in year 1. Mm-hmm. So let's be realistic about what we're trying to get out of the draft. In the first 3 rounds, you're trying to make sure you get at least 1 impact starter out of the first 3 rounds who's going to start day 1 and be a long-term solution somewhere where you have a hole. That's what you're trying to get out of day 1 and day 2. Day 3, you're trying to find some guys that can help right away, right? Whether it's on special teams or as a rotation. And then hopefully they develop into a guy who can plug a hole for you 2 or 3 years from now. That's what day 3 is for. So with that said, what are the 49ers' actual needs? Okay, so defensive line, offensive line, it's been talked about ad nauseum. Clearly, we need to improve the trenches. If there's a guy available at 11 that you don't expect to be there, then you do not hesitate and you draft him. If whoever the 49ers have as their top tackle falls to them at 11, you draft him. If their top defensive lineman falls to 11, you draft him. That's a no-brainer. But it's unlikely that that's going to happen. Where the 49ers are drafting at 11, you're getting the second or third tackle. You're getting the second, third, or even fourth defensive lineman, depending on how those first 10 picks go. So it's unlikely at 11 you're going to get your guy.
Wait a minute. Well, can I give a little bit of pushback right there? All right. So one, this is the way I see how you're shaping out your argument, and I tend to agree with you because I believe you and I had this discussion where the Niners have a beautiful position in every round. We're right outside the top 10. Okay. Yeah. And I would say that 10 picks in a draft is right around the time where you can understand the theme of what's being depleted as far as assets are concerned by the draft. Now, in the first round, that's going to be a little hard because everybody's going to be taking best available for their need, right? However, if we're going to pick at 11, if tackles are off the board, if Kelvin Banks is off the board, even though I don't see him as a tackle, let's just say they do, right? Who am I? I'm just a guy with a fucking channel. But let's say they think that Kelvin Banks is a guy and he's gone.
Yes.
Right. Will Campbell's gone. I'm not picking the third best tackle at pick 11. That's not happening. If Abdul Carter's gone and Prince James Jr. is gone and we're at 11, I'm not picking the third best edge rusher in their mind. That ain't happening. Okay. So my thing is that it's not the fact that we need to get the best available. Well, we also need to get the cream of the crop of when we pick, and we need to read the draft accordingly. So the reason why I would go Ted McMillan at 11 is if the scenario arose where Will Campbell's off the board, Kelvin Banks Jr. is off the board. If they like him, hypothetically, Abdul Carter's off the board, Prince James Jr. is off the board. Okay. Now, I don't know how people feel about Mike Green. Mike Green is awesome. I just think Mike Green's a little rich at 11. Okay. You don't rise up that much. All right. You got noticed, but you ain't about to get a damn right outside a top 10 pick. The reason why and I don't want Tyler Warren at no damn 11. All right, I'm sorry. That was a little bit of that was a little Tourette's right there, but I don't want enough.
You know that's where I'm going.
Make it make sense. Hold on. It makes sense. How the hell we find George Kittle in the 5th round, but then we turn around and pick 11 and go get the kid out of Penn State? Tyler Warren ain't even better than Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers deserved to be that high. Didn't even go 11. So all I'm saying is that to be a tight end and to go that high, you got to be generational. I wasn't a Kyle Pitts guy, but I understood the logic, right? Yeah. You got somebody with great attributes. Thank you. This guy could be a huge mismatch if you do that. I get it. We're not about to pick the 11th pick for a solid guy. Oh, he's really solid for a rookie. That lasts you about one season. And then he's an overpriced backup until George Kittle decides to hang it up. So no to Tyler Warren. And I understand that, all right, on its face, if you just, without this conversation, you put the headline up, the San Francisco 49ers pick a wide receiver at number 11 in the 2025 draft, 1 year removed from picking a wide receiver at number 21. We're going to look like boobs. It's going to look bad, but context matters. Yep. Context matters. We don't have a number 1 receiver. Correct. We don't. And we can't try. I'm sorry. I know Juwan. I love Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
But if we don't stop this mess, Juwan Jennings ain't no number one receiver. We're really doing a disservice to him. He's going to play his hardest, but he's not a number one receiver. So if you don't make a move in free agency, right, where you go get a hired gun, when are you going to get your number one receiver?
That's a good point.
Right? So, all right. And this is my thing. If you are going to go get a number one receiver, I'm going to tell you the reason why I also Ted McMillan could be a good pick at that position if, the people fall off, is that as soon as we don't draft the receiver there, right? And then we pick up Luther Burden in the second round, or we pick up Emeka Egbuka, the kid out of Ohio State, in the third round. The first thing everybody's going to say is that, is he a number one? Here the Niners go again, reaching. They reached for a number two receiver. This kid ain't even a number one. So all I'm saying is that if the Niners were to do it, and you know what? I got another one for you too. This may be Deebo Samuel's swan song, dog.
Oh yeah.
If you draft Ted McMillan, what you need Deebo for? Time to move on.
Trade him.
It's time to move on. So go ahead. That's my take.
So the pushback I would give, so the guy that the what I was kind of going to get to today is one of the reasons that I really am starting to like more and more the idea of drafting Tyler Warren. And not just that, but I actually think there's a fairly likely chance the 49ers do draft him. That's kind of what started me down this thought process of, okay, well, if that's the case, how do I really feel about it? So, this entire conversation is assuming, because I imagine the 49ers are prioritizing defensive line, offensive line, right? And
as they should.
Assuming their guy that they want is not available, he gets picked up already. You don't want the 49ers to reach and go get their second or their third guy or whatever on their board just because they need a tackle or whatever. You want them to get whoever is number one on their board at a position that we need. That is what you want them to do in the first round of this draft pick. It doesn't really matter what position it is. Go get the best guy on your board at a position that we need a guy. Now,
I think there's a hole in that logic because getting the best guy at a position that they need doesn't mean that you need to get that guy in the first round. The best guy for a position of the number 2 tight end is not in the first round. We've got the best tight end in the league. Mm-hmm. So why would you go shopping for, he ain't a quarterback, like he's a tight end. They got those laying around in Walmart.
2 reasons. One, I want to double dip at tight end anyway. I want to take one high, first, second round. I want to take another one in like the 4th or 5th round. That's fine.
This shit's recorded. I hope you know this is recorded. Go ahead.
The whole world can come back and laugh at me, a year from now when this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm totally fine with that. So here's what I like about the thing about Tyler Warren. Number one, first of all, I'm a little higher on Tyler Warren than you are, so part of my take is predicated on the fact that I think you're a little lower on him than a lot of people are.
I don't think Tyler Warren's better than Colston Loveland.
So even if it's a different, here's why I like them taking a tight end. And let me talk about that, and then we'll talk about the actual.
And that's why Tyler Warren's not special to me.
If you add a second tight end high in this draft, you add another passing element but you also bring in a 12 personnel package that the 49ers can make the staple of their offense. Brock Purdy does not have a big arm. Going and getting a perimeter wide receiver with speed does not help the offense as much as another big target in the middle of the field. We have to make sure that we're building the roster around what our quarterback skill set is. So running 12 personnel with 2 tight ends that are both a weapon in the passing game opens up the offense entirely for Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan, when he runs 12 personnel, every single metric that you look at, you can look at any stat you want historically when he was Atlanta, Cleveland, wherever. He is one of the best in the league out of 12 personnel as far as his offenses when it comes to efficiency, explosives, all that. On top of that, you take what we already have at wide receiver. On Brandon Ayuk is a terrific wide receiver, but he's also a terrific blocker. Jawan Jennings is a terrific wide receiver, but he's also a terrific blocker. So we don't have like a legit. Our number one wide receiver is George Kittle. He's the guy that needs to become our number one wide receiver because he's the best wide receiver we have. We are a running team, running an outside zone. You're playing to the strength of the players you have on your team. So you're solving an immediate need by adding a weapon in the passing game. You're also adding to the fact that you're increasing your run game by having a good tight end other than George Kittle. You're covering yourself because if George Kittle goes down, we don't have our tight end option is garbage. You have to have a high level tight end if he goes down anyway. On top of that, you're fixing a future need because he's getting older. It is the only position that they can draft where you're getting immediate impact that fits the skill set of your quarterback. He fixes a hole that you might have in your offense and gives you future production because if he actually turns out to be a top level guy, now you have your heir apparent and you have a seamless transition. You got two top tight ends for 3 years and then seamlessly transitioning out of George Kittle. It fills every hole. So if you can't go get your best tackle, if you can't go get your best defensive tackle or whatever that is, if you can't go get your guy at one of those positions that are more valuable, go get Tyler Warren. He fills every other need that you have.
All right, so a couple of things. One, adding another, recognizing that George Kittle is the number one receiver, so we need to elevate George Kittle's chances at receiving the ball more, quite frankly, is ass backwards. If your tight end is your number one receiver, then you need to fire your goddamn receivers coach because that's not the way it's supposed to work. Your receivers are supposed to be the leading receivers on your team. Okay? So right there, George Kittle being our leading receiver is just that's the dead numbers of how the season and how the offense is operated because we haven't had a real pass catching attack without Brandon Ayuk, with Deebo Samuel falling off, with Ricky Pearsall being a rookie, and with Jawan Jennings being a slot receiver playing the X. All right. So right now, another thing is that as far as passing the ball is concerned, I mean, I would actually go get a number one receiver if we had to stick with the offensive side of the ball, due to the fact if we're talking about with just outside guys that we would pick up at 11 and outside of trench guys, because right now you don't really have anything. I understand that Damon probably got kicked off right now, but right now you don't even have anything, man. You got a rookie in Ricky Pearsall, and Deebo Samuel's on his way out, and you got Jordan Mason. I mean, you got Jawan Jennings. There's just no way to move. There's no way to excuse picking up a tight end who, quite frankly, isn't a slam dunk generational player. He's a very good tight end, right? But for what I've seen in the draft thus far, Colston Loveland is not far behind. Colston Loveland is not far behind Tyler Warren. Then Elijah Aurora is out there. Harold Fannin Jr. is out there. Mason Taylor, another big tight end out of LSU, is out there. As far as Gunnar Helm out of Texas, like, you don't go and spend the 11th overall pick on a guy on like talent that's just maybe a step off or a 40 off on a 10th off on the 40, and with the 11th overall pick, man. I just don't see it. And there's other ways that we can scratch that itch. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get Shills up here. I know Shills is chomping at the bit. First of all, man, when I say that I need to stop talking on my own platform, you're not supposed to agree with me so readily.
Wasn't it always something? All right, so I think 11, the Niners should trade back. I would trade with like Denver for their first, second, and third, and give him like our first and one of our fourth round picks. We got three of them. I think that would be a good trade for us to trade back to 20. I'm saying trade back to 20 because I'm looking at it like what's on the board. At 11, from my perspective, I don't like the tackles are all right, but I'm not sure. I think that the 49ers look like they're trying to go cheap on the offensive line again, just in terms of what they have in play, and the real need on the offensive line is center anyway. So I'm not too excited about getting tackle at 11. Uh, if it were me, you mentioned we need a receiver. We're about to lose Mooney Ward. We need a cornerback. We need a guy who can play press man. We've only got one of those. The first, Hunter's going to be gone. Will Johnson's going to be gone. That leaves you with Morrison, and like you're saying, I'm not taking the third guy at 11, which is why I would want to trade back. So if he's available at 20, I would get him. And if he's not available at 20, I like.
What do you think about Mikael Williams out of Georgia? The edge, 6'5", 270.
I like it. I mean, hey, don't see. Here's the thing. The Niners have so many needs, so man. It's really one of the big problems I have with 11. They have so many needs. They trade away so much capital over the past several years that they're hurting at 11. And from my perspective, the best value isn't going to be necessarily a player at 11, but getting more picks. That's to make up from all of the, trading away draft picks over the years.
Well, all right. So hold on, Shills.
Yeah.
So do you want to trade at 11 because you don't truly believe that there's talent at the pick, or you want to trade at 11 because you believe that the Niners need more draft capital? Because they have 11 picks this draft.
I got you. What I'm saying is that in terms of there would be talent at 11, but like you're saying, we're going to sort of see how things play out. We're pretty sure it's kind of thin at wide receiver, so wide receivers are going to be gone. I don't like Ashton Genty. I wouldn't get him at 11. I'm with you.
Me neither. I watched more film. I was tripping. I'm not an Ashton Genty guy.
And I'm also with you on not taking Tyler Warren at 11. And then when I look at in terms of edges, D linemen, there's just so much talent in the draft that you don't have to get a guy at 11. There's so many guys. There's so many guys. It's crazy how many guys are on the D line this draft. So getting a defensive lineman at 11 doesn't make sense to me. Like you're saying, and the guard at 11 doesn't make sense. Corner, we're going to have the best corners are going to be off the board. You might be able to go for a receiver, but would be really more of a need? From my perspective, if we do need a wide receiver, sure, but we also need a cornerback. But more than a wide receiver or a cornerback, you need a center. There's no who's taking a center in the first round. Are they going to get this guy Dolman to come in? Are they going to actually say, "Hey, we got some money for you, bring him in. We might be able to solve some problems like that." But I still don't feel good about taking a wide receiver at 11, given the wide breadth of needs and the talent that's available in the draft that we could pick up by trading back.
Now this is my issue. Okay, it's not the fact that we're not going to be picking the best, but in this year's draft, there is a big drop off after like the first 1 to 3 guys, 1 to 4 guys in almost every group. Right, the deepest group right now is defensive line, okay, interior defensive line, all right? And I would say the deepest group will be edge, all right? Outside of that, DB, there's maybe like out of the top 50, there's maybe 5 DBs in the top 50 in this year's draft, okay? Now, for me, the reason why why I keep, kind of like banging the table for receiver is that there are only 3 receivers, in my opinion, that are in the top 50. That's Ted McMillan, Travis Hunter, and Luther Burden. Okay. After that, it's all downhill. Maybe Matthew Golden from Texas and the kid from OSU. But outside of that, they're just guys, right? So for me, if we're going to pick a guy at 11, I want to feel like we got damn near the best pick. It needs to feel like 11. I want to make sure that we got the best guy at the position, if not one, but two. You see what I'm saying? If we're going to now, for me, picking back at 11, trading back at 11, just really doesn't make any sense because we have the all right. If we had a light draft, I would see that. Hey man, trade back. 1 to 3 guys ain't gonna change what we need. We got structural issues, but with 11 picks and with the core that's basically hamstringing us by their age and their name likeness for all of this money that they're getting, we need to start replenishing the roster, not to support what's already here. We need to start replenishing the roster to replenish the roster. Like competition. I want guys nervous on draft day. You know, when somebody we sign a really good guy on a team and the dude is so good that his competition has to put out a congratulatory text because he's going to look like a hater. It's going to be like, you got to put out a tweet because we all know that this dude is here to take your damn job and you better look gracious while it's happening. I want us to pick somebody on the defensive line where Nick Bosa is going to have to say, well, damn, I got to show up now. There's no excuse. I got to show up now. Right? The caller before, Chunderboy had said, like he had made mention to why would we get a receiver? It's so funny how Brock got, well, first of all, I'm not going to say he's a Brock guy, but it's so funny how we can say things that kind of like are truthful about Brock, but for some reason we can't say directly what we think about Brock. My man clearly said that he wants to draft a tight end 11 overall because what's the use of getting a receiver that Brock can't throw the ball to? That came out. I let that slide. I let that shit slide, but I definitely heard my man say that. But I digress. All I'm saying is that Brock can throw the ball. We need if Abdul Carter's gone, right? You tell me, I'm gonna give you Abdul Carter. Obviously, you'd be okay with him at 1, right? All right. So Abdul Carter. How about Mikael Williams out of Georgia? Would you be okay with him at 11? James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee.
Yeah. So
no, you can be honest. No. It's your world. You can say no.
That I do have issues just in terms of Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. It's just their weight. I got concerned. Mm-hmm. They're kind of light, and we're in there. It seems more like they would be good in a 3, like a 3-4 type of scheme, just based on their weight. That's my concern with them. So, like we talk about Mikael Williams, all right,
right.
I like Nick Scorton out of A&M. First of all, just because he looks like an axe murderer, just in terms of the picture he's got out there, there's some factor in that. He looks like somebody who's like, I got some problems, I'm going to work him out right here with you right now. So that kind of plays with me. But just in terms of the little bit of tape that I've seen of him, he's got to moves to get to the quarterback. People talk about he doesn't have bend. Okay, that's fine. But he sets the edge. He gets to the quarterback. He's got an inside move. He's got an outside move. And he's not fooled by this RPO nonsense. He reads that very well. So those are things I like out of Nick Scorton. So, but he's not an 11. I wouldn't take him at 11.
Right. So my main point is this. My main point is that we got past 2 names and you were already starting a discussion.
Yeah.
So my point, so right there, the point is proven that there's only really 2 to 3 names at best that you're willing to see at edge at number 11 overall. That's it.
Pretty much.
Right. Now, there's 10 top 50 edge rushers in my draft board right now that I like, right? But in Europe, for you, would Nick Scorton with the kid out of Texas A&M, would he be a reach at 11?
Oh, yeah. I would take him at
11. Hell yes, he'd be a reach at 11.
100%. That's what I'm saying. That's like, for me, like I look at where sort of like they have like Kenneth Grant, the D lineman you like out of Michigan. I like him as well, but he's not right now. They don't have him. If we took him at 11, I wouldn't hate that, but that's still kind of a reach on him also. He's more around 20. You have like Nick Amanawaru, who's got a crazy broad range of where people have him at. Some people have him up as high as 11. Some people got him down as low as like 85. But on average, he's falling around 20. And the thing about him, although they have him at safety, just in terms of his size, weight, he's easily convertible over to linebacker. And we have needs at linebacker. So I wouldn't hate that pick, but still, that's not the greatest need that we've got. And so for me, when I'm looking at greatest need, it's like edge, and just in terms of how things play out, and talent wise, they kind of fall off corner. So I know we're not getting Hunter. I know we're not getting Will Johnson. Nobody's got them going like below like 10. The next guy up is Morrison, but he's not really. He might be 11, but like you're saying, like that's the number 3 guy. Do you want to get the number 3 guy at 11?
That's why. You got to look at it like this. I'm going from position group by position group on the best guys in the group. Simple as that.
Yep.
Whatever position group is depleted, the equity that you would get out of the pick at 11 is gone for me.
Right.
So even though, let's look at edges, right? Even though Abdul Carter, Mikael Williams, James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker, Mike Green, right? Those are my top 5, right? Nick Gordon's right on the outside. At 11, I'm only willing to pick up Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. and maybe Mikael Williams. That's it.
Right.
If those guys are gone, all right, I'm moving on to D tackle. If I move on to D tackle, and that's why and then you go with the positions of need. The top 3 positions of need for the Niners right now are interior defensive line, edge, and interior offensive line. I don't think anybody wants to see anything out of those positions in the first round. And if you had to, for an immediate one guy away player, receiver. That's a one guy away player that could change a good number 1 receiver would accentuate everything that we have in our receiver room right now. That's why it's such a good bang for your buck pick. And if you are at 11, you get the best receiver available in a very weak receiver class. That's why Ted McMillan seems like a pick for me.
I'm not saying he's not a pick. I think we're looking at it from 2 different perspectives. If you're saying we are taking a pick at 11, I'll go with you. What I'm saying is that just in terms of like how much need there is across the board in terms of people getting old or being a weak position group, I would trade back for the picks. That's just so we're not. I don't think we're disagreeing. It's just more in terms of.
No, we're not disagreeing. We're just chopping it up, bro.
How much of a problem we think we got to solve. So yeah, sure. If there's a receiver available, get it. If it's not, trade back. If you got whatever it is, if corner receiver top, let's go. I would go like this: corner receiver, top 2, not there, trade back. Just in terms of getting more picks to really reap the benefits of the talent that's out there. I like so the thing you mentioned, Mason Taylor. I would get him. That would be my first tight end pick. But he's like, what is it, 99, like 112, somewhere around there. I think we have 85 also, so maybe in that range, one of those picks there.
Yeah, Mason Taylor at LSU, top 50 pick. I like him, inline guy. Could put his hand in the dirt. One thing I will say though is that I just want guys. I don't think we should trade back at 11. I truly don't. It's been a long time since we've picked that high, and we're not going to have a lot of chances to pick that high. So I want us to get a tip of the spear, freak athlete, best of the best guy. And you're not going to get a corner. You ain't going to get a safety. All right. You're either going to get, you're not going to get a tight. These are all like,
got safety.
auxiliary positions.
They got Winston, if Kevin Winston Jr. and Makuba right at the same spot, like around 75. That's where you get your safety at.
Right. And this is a deep safety draft. Okay? This is a very deep safety draft. For me, I love Andrew Makuba out of Texas, but in my opinion, there's two top 50 safeties in my opinion. It's the kid out of Georgia, Malachi Starks, and Nick Warma, the kid out of South Carolina. But then right out of that, you got Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State, 6'2" big kid, Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame, Andrew Makuba, who we talked about, Jonas Sanker out of UVA. Out of UVA, and my sleeper, Malachi Moore out of Alabama. That's my sleeper. So, look, man, give me your prediction for the Super Bowl, man. I'm gonna get some other guys up, bro.
Well, I have no idea what the score is going to be. My prediction is the Chiefs win. That I haven't seen the passing attack from the Eagles, and that makes the Eagles one-dimensional in terms of what Spags has to shut down. Now, we all love Saquon. Maybe he's just that next level dude who's just gonna. I don't care what you do, Spags. I'm gonna just run for a touchdown out here. See you later. But just in terms of the probabilities, I'm picking the Chiefs. I would like the Eagles to win. The reason I would like the Eagles to win is it changes the trend in terms of how the league is looking at putting their teams together and how people look at playing ball. You have Mahomes doing all of the, hey, we're behind the sticks, so I'm going to try to draw a personal foul type nonsense he does. And you might not be able to manufacture Mahomes, but you can coach up QBs to draw those weak ass personal fouls. And it's a copycat league, and I don't want to see the league copy that model. You've seen Trevor Lawrence and whoever else trying to do that type of stuff. We don't need any more of them in the league. But if you have the Eagles win, now we're talking about getting back to power ball, and people are saying, oh, what we need to bring is the Fat Boys back and have a running back. That's what we need to do. I'd rather see the league copy that model as opposed to the drawing a personal foul model. But who do I think is going to win? The Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, I think I believe what you're trying to describe is the fight for the soul of the NFL. Like, what are we going to do? How are teams going to build out? I really think it just comes down to if you have a quarterback or if you don't. If you don't have a quarterback and you're a successful team, you look like the Eagles, you look like the Niners. You look like a team that puts all of their assets into the team to elevate their quarterback rather than their quarterback elevating the team. And then sooner or later, the rubber meets the road, and you're either going to have to pay that quarterback or you're going to have to move on from everybody. The NFL's oldest story.
Well, a lot of what we're seeing though is people gambling on traits, like getting a quarterback, gambling on that person's traits. This could be the next guy. You see that you can say Josh Allen when he first came in the league. They're gambling on his traits. He got better, and now he's a dude, right? But you look at, on the other hand, Trevor Lawrence, other than looking like he's out of dazed and confused, they're going off of his traits. That's what got him, and he's not that guy. And there's a lot trying to get traits going on, trying to find the next quarterback who's going to be the next dude. And as a result, there's an overinvestment in the quarterback position. And so you see a weakening across the board of other position groups not getting paid, undervaluing the running back, undervaluing the offensive line. You mentioned the 49ers. The 49ers want to invest in weapons. And, that gets you so far. It's fun to see sometimes. But if you don't got an offensive line, you got shit. Excuse me. I know I'm trying to clear up the channel. But,
we good.
From my perspective, the offensive line is the most important position group. And if you're not putting money on your offensive line, then what are you really doing? The offensive line protects your quarterback and it protects your defense. So without an offensive line, you're going to always be stressing your quarterback, always stress your defense. That's what we see with the 49ers. And that means you have to have superlative talent across the board on your defense or superlative quarterback. Quarterback isn't the position that we have superlative talent in terms of what we've got. I love Brock Purdy and all that, but, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not a guy you look at and say, "Oh, this is a superlative talent in terms of arm strength, speed, dual threat guy across the board, like running like whoever." He's not that guy. He's a good serviceable quarterback. I'd put him at above average, but they don't invest in that. So that means you have to have a superlative defense. That is so many positions where you have to have top tier athleticism. It starts to get a little ridiculous and hard to do, all because you don't want to invest in the offensive line. So,
hey man, as far as the offensive line is concerned, man, I've all but given up on them. They need to do something in this year's draft, and really, I'd be over the moon if we got Drew Dahlman. I mean, that would be huge.
right.
Drew Dahlman would be huge, but we'll see.
In this draft, who do you like at guard?
Say that again.
Who do you like at guard in this draft?
Tate Ratledge.
Okay.
Out of Georgia. I love him.
Give me who else you like, because we need at least somebody else. Because if he's not there, we gotta have somebody to go to, right?
Dylan Fairchild, also out of Georgia. I like him too. Jaden Roberts is another good guy, and the kid out of North Dakota State, Gray Zabel. That's somebody else. I think he can get kicked in at guard too. So these are all nasty guards that I love. I mean, Tyler Booker's the guy. Then your boy out of Arizona, Jonas Savania. He's a dog too. Donovan Jackson, of course, out of Ohio State. But if we were in the third round and Tate Ratledge was still there, 6'6", 320, just road grader, fast enough to get outside, flexible. I mean, this is a guy that you stick at left guard and you forget about it. And also at 6'6", at 320, he's nasty enough to get kicked over at right guard if we get in the pinch. So I love Tate Ratledge.
All right, I'm right there with you. Because for me, I would like to, I know you got other people want to get on. They should go get Dolman, pay him. Say, hey, bro, we were going to actually do what we need to do. Here's 75, 105 years, whatever it is. Bring him in, have him at center, draft a guard, and then we're square on the offensive line. We'll steal him to pick up a tackle or two later on, but it's not going to be something we need to do this year in this draft. That's how I'm looking at it. Bang.
My guy. Hey, I'm glad that we finally got the link up, man. I know you tried to call in last time, but you came in just a little too late, bro. I'm glad we linked up.
Yeah, I had some people over, had a piano recital, so that's how it goes, bro.
Shields love the kids. I talk to you, bro.
All right, later, man.
All right, man. Hey, I'm gonna get Dre. Nope. I'm gonna get Tommy up, then I'm gonna get Tyler up, and then Dre. Tommy,
what's up?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Chilling. Oh shit, dropping shit.
Okay. You good, brother?
Where do we begin? Tyler Warren, yeah, dude, he's.
We're not doing that.
No, he's I told Grant I got him to admit to me that Pitts was overhyped because I told him that back when he was being drafted. So I don't like pick top tight ends, even though Larry says he's Gronk 2.0, and I guess you can have what's that dude on the Patriots, Hernandez?
Aaron Hernandez,
and Gronk together. That'd be kind of interesting, like he was saying. But we need trenches, dude. But Tyler Warren can fit. He's a good blocker, I think. I mean, he's not great, but he's a huge guy, so he could probably block. But
no, I'm not in on him, man. I mean, now I'm not a big, listen, man, like Tyler Warren is going to go get Forgiato rims and go get put on your Honda Accord, bro. Yeah, you hustling backwards, man. Go get the alternator first before you go and get the sunroof and the tents. Handle your business. I think that Tyler Warren getting a tight end 2 at 11 overall, you're hustling backwards. It's dumb.
There's too many good tight ends, like you said. Who's the guy? The other guy you were talking about? I think Jesse
Loveland. Colston Loveland out of Michigan. Yeah, Jesse says that he loves Colston Loveland. I think Colston Loveland's better than Tyler Warren. I like Mason Taylor. I love the kid out of Miami, Elijah Ororo. Also, you know who else is good? Gunnar Helm out of Texas.
It's deep tight end draft. So
It's a deep tight end draft. I mean, they all deserve to be drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, but it's a deep tight end draft nonetheless.
that's where I would go get a tight end in the 4th round, honestly, or maybe 3rd. I don't know.
Yeah, I just no. You go find your tight ends
or kickers.
No, I think first. All right, so Niners have 11 picks this draft. All right, if you're looking at
have 11, I thought it was 10.
Everybody keeps telling me that, bro. Like the Niners have 11 picks. The picks that they have right now.
Damn, I'm chubby.
Hold on, let me see. Picks that the Niners have right now. They've got pick 11, of course. They've got pick 43, 75. All right, in the 3rd. They've got 2 3rd-round picks, 75 and 99. They've got 3 4th-round picks, 112, 138, and 139. They've got
no
one.
5th round. No 5th rounds, yeah.
No 5th-round picks. That's the slap on the wrist that we got, that Parag got. Then we got 1 6th-round pick, and we got 3 7ths.
Wow.
11 picks. Yeah.
Oh, so wow. What the hell was Tommy 10 then?
I don't know, but we don't need to I mean, if they think that, I don't know, I don't even want to admit this. But we tend to think that we're the smartest guys in the room. That we do this a lot. The Niners do drafting kickers in the 3rd round, trading up to get running backs. We do a lot of wonderkind, Bill Nye the Science Guy shit, where we're trying to be whiz kids, all right, and it comes back to bite us in the ass from not doing the simple stuff that's staring us in the face. Tell me your keep it simple, stupid pick at 11.
I just don't think he's going to be there.
Talk to me.
I mean, I don't want to if we're going to get a tackle, it's got to be Will Campbell only. I don't like Banks. If he's not there, then you don't get tackle.
All right. That's a succinct. All right. So right there, tackle's out. If Banks is gone, tackle, and Campbell's gone at 11, tackle's out.
Yeah, I don't want Banks. Like he got destroyed in the playoffs.
All right. So moving forward, if tackles, and we're going with, we can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. Not only are we going with best available that's available in the position group, but we're also able to look at the position group that is next important for us. So if tackle's out, what's your next position of need for the Niners?
DT, definitely. Larry Clark has yeah, I think so, because their run defense is horrible. It's just, and it starts with the wide 9, you got to have those 2 big fuckers in the middle. So
now, mind you, now let's stick here. For me right now, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 7 to 8 D tackles that are in the top 50. All right. So we're looking at a little bit of a wider berth of talent. So what 3 players, or what is your keep it simple, stupid player at D tackle at 11? There's Mason Graham. There's Walter
that's the
Nolan.
only one I want. Well, I get Nolan, but either Nolan or Graham's probably the best, but I doubt he drops to 11, even though he did in some mocks, but I doubt it. He's the best DT, I think. Even though he has a little missed tackle issues, but
Shamar, but it's safe to say Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M, Derek Harmon out of Oregon at 11, that's too rich for your blood.
Yeah.
All right. So right now, we've got 4 players out of the way. Okay? We got Walter Nolan out of the way. We got Mason Graham out of the way. We got Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell out of the way. All right? Mm-hmm. That's 4 picks down. There's 6 picks until they get to us. All right? So if those players are out of the way, what's your next position group of need? It's got to be naturally edge. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we got 4 players down. We're up to edge. Abdul Carter's gone. We know this. Okay? So that's 5 players. He's not making. If he makes it to 11, if Abdul Carter makes it to 11, that'll be like the Lakers getting Luka. That'd be the craziest shit ever if we get him at 11.
Don't remind me of that shit.
Right. So Abdul Carter's down. Is James Pierce Jr. still there at 11?
I'm not really familiar with him, so I wouldn't know, but
It's the edge out of Tennessee, 6'5", 243, tweener kid, explosive first step.
No tweeners, please. No tweeners.
All right. Is Jalen Walker? All right, Jalen Walker, Nick Scorton, or Mikael Williams, the two edges out of Georgia and the one edge out of Texas.
Jalen Walker's gonna fall to the second.
Okay, Jalen Walker's out. Nick Scorton or Mikael Williams at Georgia. Any of those be too rich at 11?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm thinking they should trade back then because nothing's available. Unless they're going to go Malachi Starks, which I think he's going to go top 10. But they don't really go first round safeties.
Right.
Unless you want to count Jimmy Ward. Was Jimmy Ward a safety coming out of the... But they didn't really draft him. That was...
yeah.
No.
So, okay. So...
But he...
This is where I'm going. So what we know right now so far is we've named 7 to 6 players, right? That possibly all could be gone. That's out of the tackle room, D-tackle, edge room, okay? Now, we know that quarterback's going to be gone, so let's go 7 players, all right, to 8 players, all right, because quarterback's going to get out of here. Really, what's going to fall to us naturally, in my opinion, is probably the best corner, the best receiver, and the best safety.
Okay.
Do you see my thought process behind this?
They're not going to think like that. I know it. They're going to go, we'll get the next best. Get the guy who dominates, or the best at the position.
If Malachi Starks, and hold on, and then this is the thing. Malachi Starks, even though he is hands down the best safety in this year's draft, he's not worth the 11th overall pick. Yeah,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
the last guy that picked at 11 safety was the guy from Pittsburgh. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. What the hell is this? Minka Fitzpatrick.
Minka, yeah. Yo, from Alabama, Minka. Yeah, but Malachi Starks is it Minka Fitzpatrick special.
Okay.
Yep. So really, do you see how I got to Tate McMillan? Mm-hmm. You see how I got there? Because if we're gonna pick at 11, it better be a number 11 overall pick.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Pearsall, that was a reach.
Pearsall, and that was at 21.
21? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as did you see Deebo with the Eagles jersey on?
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that guy's got a bigger belly than me. What the hell happened? I mean, I'm not huge, but but he's what is he? 27, 28?
I think he's 28.
How did the belly get that big when you're?
He's eating, man. Having a good time, brother.
Man. Cousin Pete.
He eating, man. He having a good time. Holidays got him. He ain't playing the playoffs no more. Deebo made it home for Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Oh, there it is. Well, I mean, he loves his buddy. He loves his buddy, AJ Brown.
Yeah, they're supposed to be tight.
He's salty. He's salty about losing to the Chiefs. I mean, that must sting. But then you got to think about it. You got to think about it. We lost to the best team and maybe in history if they're going to three-peat.
True. I'm going to tell you this right now, man. I think this is it for Deebo. I don't think he makes it into the new year with us. I believe that he gets traded. Yeah.
Wow.
I think he gets traded.
Are they going to eat that dead cap, the tradee, so to speak?
Yeah. I think, you know what? I don't know. We may do a swap. We may do something like take a bad player for a bad player. We may take somebody else's problem and they may take our problem. I see that happening.
I hate saying that about Deebo, but he's just like, he regressed so bad. Was it the pneumonia or he just doesn't have the fire anymore?
I just think older. Well, a little bit of everything, but I do think that there's an approach to the game that you can't disrespect as you progress, as you mature. it's almost like getting older. Your metabolism slows down. So you can't eat whatever the hell you want anymore. You got to watch out because it's going to take you a little bit longer to get that crap off, right? And the same thing with Deebo, as far as his skill set is concerned. I've used this analogy. I'll use it again. But you look at old basketball players, man. You know what I'm saying? And you look at your guys that played above the rim, like your Jordans, your Kobe's, even your LeBron, and these guys, Westbrook. And this is even a better analogy. But once their games progressed, their skills had to take over because they weren't as athletic anymore. So that's when you start seeing the post game comes out and everybody's playing from the elbow down, and their free throws become more efficient, and they fade away because they're trying to work smarter, not harder. Deebo had a skill set when he first came into the league that was very contingent upon physical prowess, exploding through guys, being able to push a button and just go. And I don't think that Deebo can run routes. No, I don't believe that he knows. Yeah, I don't believe that he can get himself open. And you're starting to see that, that could be an issue, but you being out of shape on top of it, it just kind of compounds after that. So
you really see the belly with the pads on, but then like that jersey picture, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, that jersey, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell happened, man?
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
He's not working out at all. Nothing. Because I'm resting my body, eating what I want.
It's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't forever. I wish him the best, but I would be surprised if he makes it if he's still on the team by the start of the season. I'd be shocked.
Wow. I thought they would give him one more year, but I know he's gone next year.
Mm-hmm. No. I think this is it. You got to look at it like this. What was that game? Was that the Bears game where Deebo had all of that shit to say? On Twitter saying, I'm not the number. I'm not falling off. I'm not just getting the ball.
Oh yeah.
And then the Rams game, dude.
Yeah, it was right before the Rams game. He said that.
They targeted him all game, and I think that's pretty much the writing on the wall right there.
I hated that game plan. It's just like,
yeah.
Why?
But he got his shots.
The game plan for the Bears was amazing. I'm like, this is what I've been wanting to see all year. And then Kyle went back to, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He had a terrible year, like I was telling Grant. I'm like, just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
His worst year I've ever seen.
Well, yeah. I think
2020 was bad, but that's because we had Pick Mullins giving away the ball. Like,
what sucks about this year for me is that we lost, but I didn't feel like we lost playing our best football every week. That's what sucked.
Yeah.
We lost, but we didn't lose like literally putting our best foot forward, like playing Jordan Mason, like not sitting him down for 3 weeks when CMC came back. Like we never even saw we never saw the Jordan Mason CMC duality of them both being on the field. Like we never saw, and then the spurts of
the Cowboys game, like the Super Bowl year. That was awesome.
Then what really kills you is just the spurts of ingenuity that like seem to like kind of like spike. Like we saw it against the Bears game, then nothing. Then we saw it against the Lions game, then nothing. Just offensively, the game planning was all over the place this year. So we're looking for continuity. What do you think about Gus Bradley coming onto the staff?
I like it, but I was confused. I'm like, hey, why does he look like Ryan Hensley a little bit? Just a little. I mean, they look like distant cousins or something. No, I wanted Gus Bradley if we didn't get Saleh. Well,
that's the Saleh effect, though. But imagine this. You know why? You know what Gus Bradley? You know why Gus Bradley is a flex? Because we went to go get Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley told us no. And then Saleh said, yeah, you know what? I'll come. And then brought Gus Bradley on like, you know what? You guys aren't good enough, but I am. So, Gus, come on over here. I promise you, I'll play interference. It won't be that much of a shit show. In a way, the best hire that Kyle has done this offseason was get Robert Saleh, because you're kind of wondering.
Yeah, exactly.
Because without Robert Saleh, we don't have a special teams coach. Without Robert Saleh, we don't have Gus Bradley. Without Robert Saleh, we don't have what's seeming. Wait until free agency. We're going to see it again. We're going to see more guys. And then you're going to have to ask yourself, if the season starts and the defense looks up to snuff, what did Kyle do this offseason?
Yeah.
What did you do? So,
what do you
know, man.
What's the grade you give the coaching hire so far? Like, I'd say probably A, right, for me, or maybe B plus. I don't know.
Well, the Saleh hire for me is a B plus because I think that it's hard. I mean, forget the fact that it's Robert Saleh, but it's hard to get a coach that just came from a team to kind of like pick up a coordinator job. He in effect, he's kind of taking a demotion. You know, I think that's, you got to give respect where respect is due. That's not easy to do, to get a guy to come in who really kind of had you waiting while he was going to interview for other head coaching jobs. Also, one thing that I like about it is cachet. I mean, immediately, his effect on the league is causing ripples in our building. That's one thing that you want to be able to bring as when you coach. People don't recognize this, but when you coach, it's what you know, right? And obviously, they're not going to give you a shot at the job if they don't know who you are. But it's also it's kind of your network too. It's like, who do you know? What recruiting trails have you been on? Like, what type of ends with certain guys do you have? So one thing that I will say is that I feel as though that we've repurposed Robert Saleh's network of people that he knows, because we kind of sent them out into the real world, into the end of it. Then he's come back with all of these new associations and some old ones as well with Gus Bradley. So I think it's a great hire. I do.
Yeah. And the special teams coach, that's a B for me too. I mean, he's not one of the best, but he's solid. I mean,
Brett Boyer, yeah. Also, one thing that I like about him is that he's got guys that follow him around the league that he really likes. So the returner that's already a free agent, that's kind of all but been a shoe-in to come to the Niners once free agency hits. That's definitely something that I'm starting to see out of him as well. So, you know, one thing that I can't say that this is facts because I don't know, but it just seemed like Kyle, he needed a facelift on his coaching staff. And I really don't think they're done. I'm looking at Leonard Hankerson. Like, what are you going to do with those receivers? Like, I'm kind of looking at Leonard Hankerson. So, there's some guys that need to step up on the coaching staff, but iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I like. What do you think about that linebacker they might bring? I can't from the Jets. He's pretty young.
Oh, the young kid?
He led the league in tackles. What the hell's his name? Something Sherwin. Sure. I should have wrote it down. I'm bad with names. They was thinking that he might come to the Niners, but
Jamie Sherwood.
Yes. Sherwood.
Right, yeah.
I like him.
Don't get me lying on here. I got to watch him a little bit more.
Yeah.
To actually figure out what he can do. But I haven't watched enough of him.
Yeah, but I think they're going to bring back Greenlaw. I don't know for how much. I mean, I'm thinking $7 million a year we can afford. But someone's going to want to overpay.
Well, this year you got to watch out for your big purse guys. Washington is a big. I'm worried about Washington this year. I'm worried about them in the draft too.
Yeah, is Wags going to retire? He was all pro last year.
No, I don't think so.
No. But him and Greenlaw, holy shit.
That'd be crazy, man. One thing I will say, man, is that we gotta see exactly what Robert Saleh is going to do in free agency. That'll shape out the draft more. Give me your predictions about the Super Bowl before we get out of here, man.
Hey, man. You know what? Like I said, the Eagles are a better team. Like, I think the Niners we're not. They have a better roster, like all around, better run game. Their offensive line's better. Their running back's better. That's not even funny. The receivers are better. I think the tight end's almost equal, but Kelsey's, he's legendary. But Goddard, he's good. So I'm just thinking, I'm picking the Chiefs because they got the refs and they never let. And the only way, if the Eagles blow them out, then they win. But if they keep it close, you can't win a close game with the Chiefs.
I believe that it's a Chiefs game, and I just don't see Kellen Moore out coaching Coach Spagnuolo, and
No way.
I don't see Vic Fangio out coaching Andy Reid.
I think
It's
Fangio
really that simple
held
for
his
me.
own with Reed, but I don't know. But the other, no,
Yeah,
because Fangio's good. But I think he lost us that Super Bowl in 2012 or 2013, 2013. Like, because he didn't rotate the starters. We were freaking exhausted. We were gassed.
yeah. He plays a really vanilla based defense.
I hate that shit. All right, yeah. Anyway.
All right, bro. My bad. Hey, let's get good getting at you, bro. Hey, call in again, man.
Thanks talking to you. Yeah, so
All right,
I got a 3-point game for the
All right,
Super
3-point
Bowl.
game, Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right,
Thanks,
have
man.
a good one. Happy Super Bowl.
All right, brother. Tyler, you're up next. Let's get some super chats out the way. Sean, my bad, brother. You right, man. Hey, they need to see why they have what they have in Cowing first. Sean, I don't think that Cowing is a number one receiver. I think that would be unfair to him. He's a little too small. He's definitely got the athletics, but being able to take off the top, I don't know. I don't know about that. Travis Stewart, 199. Thank you. What's up, Coach? Let's go, my guy. I emailed you, Travis. Sean, 1999. Number one, Tyler Warren's blocking is cheeks. Number two, Tech McMillan ain't even the receiver. He's most popular. Ooh. Trey Harris is the best receiver in the draft. If you're going with the best value, and you might as well move back and get a guy in 15 and 20. So you think that Trey Harris, hold on. What in the hell? You think that Trey Harris is better than Ted McMillan? You tripping. Who? The kid out of Ole Miss? Man, stop, Sean. You made me stop the show to read this nonsense. That kid out of Ole Miss ain't better than Ted McMillan. You bugging. Travis Stewart, 499. Thank you. Did you see the interview where Joe saying it's hard to bet against the Chiefs and him not caring about records and saying to pay Purdy? Yes, I did see that interview. I just kind of feel like conversations about like Brock Purdy and stuff, that's kind of like, I don't know, man. Just pay him. And if he's trash, cut him. And if he's good, he's our guy. I'm really to that level with Brock. All right, so let's go. Tyler, Dre Davis, Niner Empire up. We're going to close out with Chunder Boy. Tyler, what's good, brother?
I'm good, Coach. It's been a long time since seeing you.
I know, man. Talk to me.
I didn't pay attention to the 49ers at all this year because they were that garbage.
Man. Look, man. Have you turned the page?
I got to see my Buckeyes win the national championship. So, Coach, at least one of my teams got to win a world championship.
All right, hey, look. You come in here with the smoke off rip, man. Look, hey, talk to me about what you got coming in. Did you really not watch the season this year?
Absolutely.
So you ignored the whole year.
Yeah.
You missed all the games.
Yeah, I did. Because I had a sinking feeling, Coach, that I had a bad feeling about this year, and when you got that bad feeling, I didn't want to believe it. But I'll say this, that Super Bowl hangover, it hurts.
Hey, so you saw the Super Bowl hangover coming and you opted out off rip.
Yes.
Tell me when you opted out. Was it after did you stay around for the draft?
I stayed around for the draft.
So So last year we lost in the Super Bowl. You stuck it out all throughout this time. When did you make the curse? When did you say,
I
all
didn't
right?
make it a curse at all, Coach. I just saw I was unfortunately I had a sinking suspicion that this team was not gonna, and all its ugly warts are gonna manifest, and, which were the offensive line, the defensive line.
He's talking about it. Talk about it. Talk about it, Tyler. Come on.
We
Don't let me down.
We keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, where we need to invest in, but Kyle never does.
Hey man, look. So look, here we go. So let me ask you something. We gotta check your tone. We gotta check your tone because you missed the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wearing somebody else. You're wearing a whole nother team's insignia right now. So help me
they're
out.
A college team. They're a college team.
All right, so help me out. Are you back? What are you here for? Did you come here to just piss on the grave?
See this team, see how the Chiefs or the Eagles, a successful franchises, get there and show how this team should win as a world champion.
Tyler, you got to give me some syntax, man. You got to bring it together for me.
Okay.
So
what I mean by that, Coach,
have you been looking at the draft this year?
yes, I pay attention to the prospects because I watching college.
I mean, you might as well. It's the perfect segue, college boy. So you might as well watch the prospects. You've been looking. We should be talking to you about the draft. You've been watching college all year.
Yep.
So who do you like at 11? Pray tell, because you've been watching all season.
Okay, so where we need help is defensive tackles, right?
Yes.
And corners, safeties. I like Malachi Starks. I do like him. I do like, unfortunately, Will Johnson because I don't like Michigan from my team I like. Mason Graham, have to give him credit. He's good too. Kenneth Grant, he's good too. Like, those three would be, no, these four would be instant starters.
Okay.
Well, Malachi Starks is, I don't think he'd be, I think there's a guy that's better than him, but he's not in the draft this year.
Oh, okay. Okay. He's an underclassman?
Yeah, Caleb Downs.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, Caleb Downs at Ohio State I'm a Bama fan. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Let's just move on. You're welcome. Let's just move on. You're welcome.
Well, so also we need help.
Welcome.
I know. Well, also we need help at tight end, right? Tight end too.
Right.
I like Mason Taylor.
All right.
And people saying Tyler Warren. I don't like Tyler Warren. He's too much of a gadget player. He's too much of a. They use him in Wildcat. I mean, he's.
Why do you like Mason Taylor out of LSU?
We love using our tight ends in the passing game, like George Kittle. Mason Taylor is one of the best pass catching tight ends in college football.
He's got 55 receptions on last season. That is kind of dope. 55 receptions for a tight end in college is up there, but that's half. That's half of the production that Tyler Warren had, roughly, with 104 receptions out of Penn State. 1,200 receiving yards? What?
Well, here's the thing about Tyler Warren. What people don't understand about him is he's good, but he was the only option for Penn State.
Yeah.
So that let's not get this mistaken. Penn State didn't have any wide receivers to throw to at all.
Cheeks.
So it's And if he was on another team, do you think you get that same production?
No.
Exactly.
I don't want to get caught up on this. Like, for me, you got to show like freak attributes at the position. Exactly. In my opinion, what's the kid out of Georgia? I love that kid. He went to Las Vegas.
Brock Bowers.
Now, Brock Bowers,
he's a stud.
Now that's a guy.
Yes.
Okay. For sub 4.5 40, hands all day.
Yes.
Go carry an offense, right? Gonna get on the field and embarrass cats. Is a human mismatch against linebackers, safeties, and corners. Too fast for linebackers, too big for safeties, right?
He'd have been a perfect guy for the 49ers.
Yeah, but just that where they got him. He'd have been awesome.
Exactly.
But
they were going to get him.
But, all right, so close me out, man. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Tell me who you got. Give me your prediction.
Unfortunately, I got the Chiefs.
All right. Okay.
Because the thing is, like, in the biggest game, who wins? It's the quarterback play.
It's Patrick Mahomes, man.
Like, you gotta give him the man credit. You gotta give him credit. He beat our team twice.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta tip the cap to the guy. Andy Reid. He's a better, like you said, he's a better coach than Nick Sirianni. Like, who do you trust more, Vic Fangio or Steve Spagnuolo?
Mm-hmm. I would take Spags.
I take Spags too. The only reason I'll watch the Super Bowl, Coach, is this reason. Is because the Buckeyes are looking at the defensive line coach for the Chiefs to be their new defensive coordinator.
I hope they get him. Anything to weaken those assholes.
Exactly. The Chiefs are so infuriating because the one thing we don't invest in, actually, no, two things, is a true quarterback and offensive line.
Look, man, the Chiefs, they invest in both. And we got to be able to handle business when we see them down the line. Mm-hmm. Tyler, see you down the road. Do we have you back this season? Or are you officially back?
I want to be back so badly, Coach.
You ain't back. You ain't back.
No, I am. But the thing is, though, it made me feel so bad. Coach, it made me feel so bad when I was heartbroken when we lost the Super Bowl.
All right, man. All right. Hey, look. Hey, the season's over. All right. You can't quit. You got to stop. You got to stop with the nonsense.
I'm not crying.
Do we got you back or not,
yes,
Tyler?
I am back. I'm just
all right.
So bad that we did not achieve our goal of getting back to the playoffs at least.
Right. But stop it. We're not about to be pining for your fandom. Either you're on the train or you're off it. All right, get out of here, you freaking diva. I'll talk to you.
Diva. I just want to see one time this team reach this. One time. I want to see them hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Is in my lifetime.
Silas,
in 1995. I didn't get to see it the Super Bowl.
All right, brother. Hey, first of all, if the Niners could win a national championship, I'm sure they would. But let's work on the Super Bowl first.
I'm just saying, though.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
I want to see them a trophy, bring home a trophy in my lifetime because it hurts.
Dude, it hurts for the both of us. Hey, man, let's fist bump. Fist bump with me. I'll talk to you, brother. We'll talk.
All
right. Dre Davis, then Niner Empire. Then we close it out with Chunder Boy. Dre Davis. What's good? What's good, my guy? What you up to?
Man. First off, I just want to say this chat is crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I love my chat, bro.
These spread takes are insane.
Dog, I love my chat, bro. I love everything about the chat, bro. I was born in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I was born in the chat.
Oh man. So they sitting there saying Fred is washed. Do you agree?
Fred Warner?
Yeah, Fred Warner.
No. Who said that?
There's a couple people in the chat going crazy about that.
Who said Fred Warner's washed?
They was in the chat going crazy about the Fred.
Nah, sir. Hey, nah, we ain't having that. Nah, bruh. Hey, look. Okay, so let's put it like this. Is Fred, how can I say it? Fred's not perfect, okay? But Fred is far from washed. He is still an all-pro level linebacker, dog. Like, let's stop. We're not doing that. It's me, bro. Come on, dog. We're not doing that. Yo, Fred, he may not be like tip of the spear. I'm knocking everybody's head off. But as far as leader, being where you're supposed to be on the field, like pass coverage, right? Actually holding the banner to the team. Fred, you can't ask for a better guy than Fred. And he's a good team guy. You can't do that. Fred's not washed. Come on, y'all.
Hypothetical, coach.
Hypothetical. All right.
Say we pay Dre.
Okay.
Down to next season. Fred's asking for a contract. Next
All right.
Do you pay him, or do you get rid of Dre, or do you say sayonara Fred?
Dog, Dre, it's been real, but you got to go. I'm not keeping Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner. Dog, look, man. And hold on, and just to keep it G, I like Dre's style of play better than Fred's. Just to keep it G. Just to tell you, like, this ain't even about preference. I prefer Dre's style of play over Fred's. But it's levels to this. All right? It's levels to this. And Fred Warner is the starting middle linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. He ain't no Sam. He ain't no Will. Okay? I hate to put it to you this way, but you can find another Bart Scott. You can't find another Ray Lewis. It's levels to this. All right. So it got to be one, and it can't be 1A, 1B. It's one, and then there's a two. I love Dre, and I think that together we've seen the best out of both of them. That's why I feel like, we can even have the conversation. But if you want to say, if I would have rather started this season with Dre Greenlaw at running back at linebacker over Fred Warner, I believe this defense would have been worse if Fred would not have played this whole season the way Dre did. Because Fred, there's a cognitive level of the game and of the defense that Fred brings where he gets people in the right spot. He gets people in the right gaps. He understands what the defense... He is a coach on the field. It's a whole different ball game. As a matter of fact, without Fred, in certain ways, Dre can't play as free as he likes to. So it's a give and take.
Exactly.
So I'm mad I missed that in the chat because that's crazy.
Also, announcement: Tyshun Samuel.
Dog.
Because we don't call him we don't call him that no more.
No, it's Tyshawn. Hey,
that's Voldemort. That's like Voldemort.
Dog, he who shall not be named. Hey, so a dude who give you way too much. He gives you way too much material, and it's like I can't. It's too easy. I'm getting in too easy mode with Deebo. I'm getting in too easy. Like it's too easy. I'm not doing it no more. Come on, man. And then coming out the jersey, dog. Coming out the jersey.
You talking in the videos again. Like,
come on, man. You know, Deebo looked like he had on one of those school. Yo, remember we was in middle school? And this is when the girls was trying to be fresh and they wear some clothes to school that they wear some clothes to school they weren't supposed to wear. And they used to have to wear the big ass faculty shirts around school. Deebo looked like he had a faculty shirt on. He looked like he came to school with some Daisy Dukes on in a midriff, and they said, hey, man, go to Mr. Jenkins' office and go put on that polo, and you're going to wear that printer, you're going to wear that Public County School polo all day. That's what that looked like. It was crazy to me, man. So look, he can't, listen, I feel like we teetering on the line of personal versus professional because, like I said, it's getting too easy. I wish him the best. You know what I'm saying? You know what I really want him to do? You know what I would love for Deebo to do? Shut us up. I would love for him to go into the lab, get in shape, come back and shut us up.
He did that. Coach, he did that.
No. But instead, he's going to come back with some patent leather boots on and a leotard.
Shape of his life.
He was sending Kyle. Yo, I can have you on here.
I watched. You forget I watched.
He was sending Kyle nudes. He was sending them nudes. Hey, look. I'm going to tell you, he got his money. He got paid. He just needs to step up. He got to step up this year. And I kind of think that it's, it's out, man. The story's out, bro. Like everybody knows, like when you're on national television and they doing like the whole montage of you dropping balls, like I said, like the whole tweeting out, oh, I'm not, I'm not falling off. I just don't have enough targets. And then for you to come out the very next game and have that type of game, to the victors goes the spoils. And heavy wears the crown, man. Like you're gonna get paid $20-some-odd million a year. Okay. So let me do this.
How you talk and then the production that you put up is.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like if he didn't talk and just played, you know what I'm saying? It would be a little less. It wouldn't be that tall on him. But it's just.
I feel like the only way he gets back to even better production is if he leaves. Because he'll feel a chip on his shoulder. Honestly.
You think it's beyond that here?
It's beyond it here. He's got too much bravado. He's a diva. Look how he
is a diva.
Look how
he is a diva.
Talks. He talked like he got 3 chips.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, man. You gotta show up. I mean, for me, what would have kind of sealed it for me? Because like the conversation and the rhetoric is cool, but there's certain things that happen along the way where it's like you can miss as many assignments in school as you want to, but nothing hits harder like that midterm grade. Like this is where you stand. Like this is so. And for me,
doing that by the season, he failed both.
Thank you. And the misnomer for me, if I was in his shoes, would have been when Brandon went down and they made Juwan the X. For me, that would have been it. That would have been like
supposed to be the one to step up.
How that slipped under everybody's radar, and nobody was like, "Hold on, wait a minute."
To be the X.
Hold on, wait a minute. Didn't Juwan just re-up for like $15 million? Like, wait a minute. Who's the number one? Ain't that supposed to be you, Tasha?
It's been the question mark for so long. We've been like, who's really the true number one here?
I don't think we have one. That's why the Tate McMillan conversation is viable. I don't. What do you? Okay, so we've had a good time.
If we go to
let's get to the draft. Let's go to the draft. So what are you looking at 11? What's worth it to you?
I want safety.
That high?
Only
At
because,
11, Dre?
Only because, and this is gonna be a hot take. Only because I think the safety spot really commands our secondary. If you think about it, past years,
Okay. We do need a free
the way
safety.
that we've been able to move Jimmy Ward was so key.
It was crazy. I look, so the kid out of South Carolina, at 11, Dre, you can't excuse a pick. I just spent the better part of an hour and a half talking about what you cannot do at 11. You can't trade now. If you were going now, hold on. Now, if you trade back,
Now,
if safety is truly what you want to do, let's say we're the Niners, right? And we're looking at the deepest class in this year's draft is interior defensive line, which is what we need.
yes.
Right? So if we're the Niners, let's say, all right, listen, we know what the fans want, but fuck Walter Nolan. Like, we're not doing that shit. We can go, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest.
Got a nice step.
Yeah, but we can get Talik Williams from Ohio State way down the line. I like Talik Williams, right? We can get, I mean, God knows they love big guys that can't move anybody. Alfred Collins, you know, the 6'5", 321-pound tackle out of Texas, right? Now, let's say they're saying, all right, we can do that at line. We can do that at D tackle. Now, we already know we're counting on Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. being gone, right? So they don't want to do that at 11. So if they did trade back, let's say they traded out of 11, they went down to 20. All right, who's at 20? Let me see. Don't worry about it. I got you. Denver.
Now,
Shills just said that.
Now, see, I saw a take in the chat also that said, what if we trade with Denver?
Somebody did say that. Okay. So if we go down to 20.
I was like, is Sertan in the deal, though? That was the only thing.
Is
that good vibe? Is that good value?
I don't know what Denver needs at 11 for them to really get up there.
Coach, is that good? Is that good value to give away an 11 pick? Patrick Sertan. At 24 going into 25. I looked up his age already.
All right, so if we went down to 20 with Denver, I'd take Malachi Starks at 20.
With Demo, with Sertan, that's
I like
nice.
So I like Malachi Starks. And then we get a true safety. We get a true free safety. I love Andrew Makuba, but Malachi Starks is better than Andrew Makuba. It's not even close.
He's got nice speed, though.
He does. We just need speed at the position. We don't really have nobody that can run. That's like a big problem at safety. We don't have anybody that can run. So that's an issue. All right. So what do you got? Give me your Super Bowl prediction, brother.
I don't like either team.
Come on, bro.
No, it's the Chiefs.
I thought
got the rest. It's all got the rest.
Nah, it's not the reps, bro.
Have you seen the Chiefs this season?
The Chiefs is nuts, dog. All right, so okay, you think so? I think the Eagles have a better team. You know what?
One-handed catch. That wasn't a catch. Everybody knows.
The Eagles have a better team. All right. I love the Chief of Reeds, which is hilarious. Yes, Tommy, I think that's hilarious. But that's one of the most goated joints I've ever heard. The Chief of Reeds. Yo, you're the man for that one. Think about it.
That's for the community. That's for the community.
It's for the street. That was for the culture. So, all right. So if you think that the Chiefs are going to win due to the refs, all right, you don't put any onus in Patrick Mahomes or the defense? You don't think it's going to be a coach game where the coaches come in and actually put their footprint on the game?
I don't think Saquon is going to do as great as people think, only because they're going to try to run up the middle. If they try to run outside, it's not going to go great for them.
No.
And if they run up the middle, they got Chris Jones right there waiting for them. So,
Hey, it's going to be nuts, man.
We've seen how that went.
Yeah.
And don't leave them on an empty.
Yeah, for real. Just not to like kill the argument, I mean kill the conversation, but you and Shills have almost kind of made me a believer. I mean, is 11 the best place to pick up somebody if all those guys are gone?
Exactly. I would start thinking trade. I honestly, it's the best option because we already are thinking free agency anyway with most of our pickup. As far as offensive line with Dahlman, and if we trade the 11th pick, we should trade it for something else of value. And why not buff up the secondary?
Yeah,
and pick up a good pick back in 20. It's still
nah.
It's an even better win.
Yeah, because this. I mean, getting Malachi Starks, man. That'd be huge.
He's gonna fall down. No, nobody wants to.
All right, bro. Hey, man, I'm gonna get Niner DMV up here, man. Hey, man, Dre, you gotta call back in, man. It's my bad for having you waiting, brother.
I got you, coach.
Hey, give me a call, bro.
Be good.
Holla at you, Niner.
What's up, baby?
What's good, brother? How you doing, man?
Another day, another easy dollar.
What you got for me, man?
Man, all season's gonna be interesting. I mean, with the whole Myles Garrett talking and everything. I mean,
do you think that's viable?
What do you have to give up to get him?
Nothing.
That's the thing is like looking at his stats, what he brings to us on that edge. It'll make Nick Bosa play better. It makes the D-line play better. It gives you pressure. But then it solves your whole concept of your first round pick. If you pick up Myles Garrett and you don't have to trade if you can get out of trading your first round pick, it's a steal. Do it. Give Robert Saleh an edge like that. An edge rusher that's going to give you 14, 16 sacks easily.
I didn't know you was going to come on here talking about this, man. Man, I am not a Myles Garrett fan. No, wait a minute. Let me correct myself. I am a huge fan of his game. I'm not a fan of him coming here. What are we going to give up for him?
That's my thing. I'm like you. What are you willing to give up? And in the draft, you're at the 11. You have so many options you can go on that 11th pick.
Let me look at his money.
Like his money out. Yeah, I looked at his money too. Trust me. I looked at his money too.
Okay. Hold on. What do we got here? Myles Garrett. Oh, hell nah.
Exactly.
Hold on. He makes $25 million a year now. No way, bro.
Yep.
No way.
That's the only problem. Like it sounds good, but when you start looking at his contract, you look at his dead cap. His dead cap is $36 million in 2025. Then it drops down to $21 million. That's a 7.17% in cap league cap in 2025. Like that's a tough pickup.
Man, that's a player away move. We ain't a player away.
Exactly. You need more help. Like your offensive line, you're talking about extending Brock Purdy. You're talking about working on an extension for Kittle. And to be honest, Brock Purdy, you got Mr. Irrelevant this year. Everybody saw it. With no weapons around him. You got Mr. Irrelevant. That's why he's Mr. Irrelevant. And I get it. You know, everybody has a bad season. He had a bad season. Now, can he bounce back? That's the question. Can he bounce back from a season like this? And can he make people better? See, that was the thing I was looking at this season. Can he make people better without weapons? He really couldn't do that. But then we starting to look at now that he really has no control over the offense still. Kyle's still controlling that. He's still telling him what to do. He has to let him really run his offense. I really feel as though Kyle hinders his quarterback, so he doesn't let him run offense. But that comes back to a concept I've always brought up on your show, not doing it the 49er way. We don't do things the 49er way. That's why we haven't got there and won the Super Bowl yet. We haven't solidified our offensive line. Every 49er championship team we had a great offensive line, a great D-line. It starts with the trenches. And in this draft, you can go get an offensive lineman at number 11. You can go get, a lot of people say Malachi Starks. I like Will Johnson. We haven't drafted a number one cornerback since Ahmad Plummer and Mike Runt.
Okay, but that's my thing though. I don't think Will Johnson is going to be there at 11.
And and looking at who's in front of us and their needs, one of them going to try to go get a Will Johnson.
Okay, so
start.
So the guys that I know that probably need corners right now would probably be, I'd say the Patriots, the Raiders. Carolina doesn't need any corners.
No. Giants. You already know what the Giants and the
Giants are getting a quarterback.
Yep.
Cleveland's going to get Abdul Carter. I got the Titans taking Cam Ward.
Okay.
Michigan. I mean, the Jags. The Jags will probably take Mason Graham.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing about corner is that I don't think that there's a really deep corner draft. There's only 3 corners that are worth the top. There's only 3 corners, in my opinion, that are worth the first round, getting picked in the first round, and one of them isn't even a corner; he's a receiver. That's Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So you think Travis Hunter?
You got Benjamin Morrison, but I have a funny feeling New England might go get Travis Hunter.
Yeah. But outside of that, Siobhan Rive, Jahadi Barron, and Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. Those are all like day 2 guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, Will Johnson is amazing, but I don't know, man. Like,
but he dropped to us. See, like I said, it's all up to who picks in front of them, what they pick, what is their need. It says what they need, but everything changes on the actual draft day. Like, I get Malachi Starks is a great safety. I get that. But we've had more success in signing safeties in most of our historical defenses. Think about Dante Whitman. He was a signed safety. Deshaun Golson, we drafted him. Merton Hanks. Let's not go to Tim McDonald. Tim McDonald, we signed him from Phoenix.
Signed him.
You can go find a safety to fit in. But right now, you got to solidify that offensive line for your quarterback. That's what the Chiefs is doing better than us. The Chiefs, the first thing not even like that say Chiefs. Let's go to the Chargers. Harbaugh. What did Harbaugh do the first draft he had? He went and did the same thing he did with us. He went and got a left tackle, Joe Alt.
Trenches.
What did he do with us when he first got? He got Mikey Potty and Andy
When
Davis.
I got Mikey Potty and Davis. Trenches.
Because he's a quarterback. Something back. He know I need protection for my quarterback, so I'm gonna solidify this trench so he can be comfortable in the pocket. Brock Purdy did not look comfortable in the pocket all year. He never looked comfortable. Get off his line.
Brock Purdy bail? Are you shooting Brock Purdy bail?
He just didn't look comfortable.
Are you shooting him bail?
I'm not sold on Brock Purdy. Not yet.
I want to know.
Because I just can't.
Because it sounded like you was trying to like roundabout get to the sneak through the back door and give Brock Purdy some bail. Because I heard you and another thing, man. Trenches. And Brock Purdy was running for his life, dog. On the low, I ain't gonna say nothing. Like But you
Yeah,
did
like,
say something, nigga. Like, what
I
you
can give
talking
him
about?
that. That's the only thing I can give him is that he was running for his life. But a lot of plays when he had time, he started doing Jimmy Garoppolo things, throwing
Now
that in
I
that
gotta
little
do
tight.
this. I gotta do this because I know my boys is watching. There's some guys watching right now that are screaming at the top of their lungs. The 49ers had the 13th ranked overall offensive line this season. All right. So I understand anecdotally from watching them with your own eyes. Ooh, that's such a bar, but I'm going to leave that alone. But anecdotally, watching them with your own eyes, Brock Purdy was running for his own life and he wasn't being blocked. But by the numbers, Brock Purdy had an above average offensive line this season. Now, the irony is that we can use the eye test for the offensive line and the numbers don't matter. But for Brock Purdy, we can't use the eye test. We have to ignore what we're looking at. And for some reason, we got to parse through the numbers.
And that's
This
why
is
I want to
almost
take
like
the scapegoat away.
Kapalui. Have you ever heard of Kapalui?
Yes, yes.
You know what Kapalui is?
But my thing is this: we got to take his excuses away, because that's what everybody was saying. Well, his offensive line, and like you said, it's right. Numbers wise, 13, he above average offensive line. He should have did something. But when you surround a player with weapons like a Garoppolo, Garoppolo and Brock Purdy went through the same thing. They had all these weapons around them, so they look good, and you can hide certain things and certain flaws. But when you get against good defenses and good defensive coordinators, they start filtering through that. They start filtering that. Oh, well, when he doesn't have nothing, when he does a 3-step drop and he doesn't have nothing, he rolls to the right. Well, let's send a backside blitz on that side. Let's send one of our speed blitzes on that side. Like, it's certain things you start scheming for, and this is where Kyle has to be like, okay, well, he put Brock in a lot of good Lions games, put him in good situations. He just tried to force the ball in the middle too much. And unfortunately, the safety was biting on it. Who that remind you of? Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to keep forcing it in the middle. Minnesota Vikings playoff game. Kept throwing it to Kendrick. Dropped the first interception, threw it right on the second time. Telltale signs. I just want to take the excuses away. If we going to sign this boy, and I know they are, give him an officer. If y'all feel as though Colt McKivitz is not the answer or Aaron Banks is not the answer, and you want to sign Drew Dorman, because center was not that great, but like I said, numbers wise, he looked good. So if you want to go get Drew Dorman, that would be a good pickup. That solidifies your center position. The last time we solidified our center position was what? When we picked up the guy Goodwin from the Saints when we went to the 2013 Super Bowl.
Yeah. I just listen, brother. I'm gonna tell you this. This just feels like the Cappy Luau defense, man. And I'm gonna and if you know what Cappy Luau is it is a very distinct beverage. Okay. And what it is it's a beverage where the indigenous animals of a certain region, they eat coffee beans. Okay. And what happens is they shit out those coffee beans, and they take those coffee beans and they pick them out one by one from the shit, and they make this beautiful cappuccino beverage that everybody loves. And right now, you trying to meticulously carve through the issues without laying blame to everybody on the team. You're making Cappy Luau right now. You're picking the beans out of the shit. Stop doing it. Throw the whole turd away. All right? All right? The problem is that everybody had a problem this season. The quarterbacks had an issue this season. The offensive line had an issue. I don't believe that there was anybody on this team outside of maybe George Kittle that can get out of this season unscathed. Everybody had a hand in it. Offensive line included, Brock Purdy included. When Brock Purdy had everybody around him, there was nobody. If you uttered the word that Brock Purdy was getting help or that he was being supported, you got your head lopped off in the county square.
But it was true though.
That's just what it was.
He was getting help he was getting bailed out a lot of them passes. It was some of them passes. The receivers he would underthrow a person. They just make a spectacular catch. But then, like you said, if you talk bad about a quarterback, the fanatics will kill you. Oh my God, that's my quarterback. Well, I mean, he has flaws. Every quarterback has flaws. Everybody tries to compare him to other quarterbacks. I'm like, bro, you can't. Like, he is Brock Purdy. He doesn't have a strong arm. We know that. So a lot of deep passes is not going to be as accurate. We understand.
Let me ask you a quick question, though. Quick question. Joe Burrow wants a trade. They go to the Niners and say 3 first round picks plus Nick Bosa, or 3 first rounds plus Brock Purdy. Do you do it?
3 first rounds and Brock Purdy for Joe Burrow? Man, I'd take that. I say Joe Burrow in a heartbeat.
I had to throw Chunder Boy up there because it's like, do you do that?
Yeah,
Frisco, you said no?
What? For Joe Burrow? I smoke cigars. I
don't care about no dead cap hit.
Man, fuck the dead cap hit at this point. If you can get Joe Burrow in offense.
We traded 3 first rounds for Trey Lance, and we didn't even know if he could play football.
You traded for a proven commodity, a proven bucket. Like we
got Trey Lance. We traded 3 first round picks for Trey Lance, and all we got was tattoos and a receding hairline. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't trade 3 first round picks for Joe Burrow?
Brock Purdy be
shitting me
on the first goddamn flight. Be just like Moneyball. Hey,
shitting me.
This is so and so. They'll discuss you with all your travels, and I hope for the best. Bye,
man.
Joe Burrow can make every throw. He's already been a proven vet in the league, and he can make our receivers better, and he can throw the deep ball accurately. He just had the Triple Crown.
If anything, I would want that deal to happen because there'd be no way that Kyle would be able to scapegoat Joe Burrow.
There you go.
If there was any reason why I would want that deal to happen, is that would be the only quarterback that could come in and Kyle could not turn the fan base against him. Where everybody would be like, man, Joe's got to get his shit together, man. Kyle's calling the right plays. It's on Joe.
No, and that's the thing. That's why he didn't want Tom Brady. He knew if he got Tom Brady, he could not control him. Now, Tom Brady's not listening to you. I'm a 6-time champion. Why would I listen to you? I'm a proof. Bro, cute. Wow.
Hold on. What do you think Joe Burrow tells Kyle Shanahan? What do you think Joe Burrow tells Kyle Shanahan when Kyle tells Joe, hey, we don't do audibles here. You just kind of get other plays that I know the answer to?
He would look at him stupid.
Like, what do you think Joe Burrow says to Kyle Shanahan? Come on.
How am I going to be able to run an office if I can't call my own audibles?
Yo, you're high.
You're on dope. You smoking that good California.
Get off that dog food, bruh. You tripping.
And that's the reason why everybody's questioning him now. Because if you don't let a quarterback run your offense and run his own audibles, he'll never learn how to pick apart a defense. You're handicapping him because you want credit, because you're an egotistical maniac.
Hey man, I don't think you know another thing too? Ooh. This is a bar. This just came across my head, man. What if Kyle doesn't like giving ownership to his offense because he doesn't know how? What if Kyle doesn't know how to call plays or stay in the flow of an offense when his quarterback is running the show? Honestly, like, what if it's almost kind of like, what's the best way to describe it?
That's like leadership, though.
I'm kind of like lacking the ability to like draw like a comparison, but in a way, it's almost as if like okay. Nah, that's a horrible analogy with two black guys talking right now. Let me think. I was about to make. I was like, that's not. Let's stay away from that. All right. Okay. For instance, your boy that got a dog that he can't control. You know what I'm saying? And he try to act like, oh yeah, I got this pit, I got this red nose, this and the third. But on the low, you like, yo, you scared of that dog, bro. Like you can't even, like soon as that joint rear up on you, you can't even do nothing with that dog. Like, I really feel like Kyle acts as though that the offense is just too complex to be like muddied down with, and too sacred, to be muddied down with audibles and giving ownership to the quarterbacks. But on the low, I don't know if the offense can ingest it.
To be honest, if we've looked at it over in the past since 2017, every quarterback that's been under Kyle, what does he always say? I like this quarterback because he knows my offense. He can run my offense. But yet, when they're in the offense, they still kind of sometimes look kind of uncomfortable. The Lions NFC Championship game, we win that because Brock Purdy went off script. When a person goes off script in the offense, look at Kyle's face. He furls up. He
doesn't like it.
He like, the fuck are you doing out there? He know what he reminds you of? He reminds you of Varsity Blues, the coach.
Oh, Bud Kilmer.
Yep. Who deals shit? That's him. Like, he doesn't like nobody to go off script because he can't take credit. But that's not coaching. That's just a control freak. You look at Andy Reid and how he has developed that offense around Mahomes. Mahomes is so fluid and so comfortable in that offense, and he calls his own play. Look at even Lamar. Lamar calls his own audibles. He calls whether or not he's going to go for it. He has full control of the offense. We are the one coach that doesn't give any quarterback we've ever had under the helm full control. And that's not doing it the 49 way.
No, not at all. There's a lot of things with this offense, man, that we could shape up. As a matter of fact, there's an article that I found that I wanted to bring up, where it's basically kind of like an ode to the wide zone, like the offense at the time. All of these guys were pretty much in they were all back in Washington in 2010 to 2013. And Scangarello, McVay, LaFleur, they were all in the same building at once. And one thing they talk about is how the quarterbacks in this offense, this offense builds great quarterbacks, not the other way around. Like, the scheme builds great quarterbacks, not the quarterback building the scheme. And it's kind of away from me right now. I can't find the exact quote. That's what I was looking through. But really, it just speaks to how they see the offense. And this is like almost a decade ago where Scangarello comes out and says, like, this offense they called the offense back then quarterback proof. Like, that right there should let you know that this is some Frankenstein shit, where they're not trying to run a traditional offense and get the best guys. What they're trying to do is they're trying to bastardize the system in a way where they can beat the field. And they feel as though that if they go at it this way, then they're a step ahead of everybody else. The only problem with that is that you started the system with one of the worst litmus tests of all time. You started it with John Elway, one of the greatest prospects, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Yep.
So you can't start a system with John freaking Elway. I don't care how old he was.
He was already proven.
He was already proven.
It was nothing you could change into him that was going to be different. Like it was nothing. He was literally going to. If you look at that offense after he got certain pieces, it ran itself. John Elway knew what to do in every situation and every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Shanahan was just literally he was on the boat, just literally sitting there, cruising, while John Elway was driving. Like, bro, I know what to do. You don't really got to say too much. Yes, you can call it a play for offense, for running plays and everything, but when it comes to passing plays, I got it. So yeah,
100%.
like it's sad because oh man, I just don't feel as though Kyle is going to this draft. If you mess this draft up, you need to be fired.
It's 8 years in. It's 8
You
years
need to be
in.
fired.
They're gonna give him. There's 8 years in. They're gonna give him 2 more years. He's got to win. He's deserved the chance to keep it going. Just off the resume alone. But
Yeah.
I agree with your sentiments, man. Close me out with the Super Bowl, man. What are your predictions?
Predictions is going to be it'll be a tight game, but Chiefs is going to pull it out. Like the earlier caller said, for them to run, for the Eagles to run on them, that's going to be tough. I mean, their defensive coordinator is smart. He's going to find a way to take away your best asset, which is Saquon Barkley. He's going to force Jalen Hurts to have to throw. He's going to have to. Jalen Hurts to win this game, Jalen Hurts going to have to play lights out. He's going to have to win the game. It ain't going to be get the ball to Saquon Barkley. What he did to the Commanders is not what's going to happen to the Chiefs. That's not, no.
Okay,
No.
so all right, I want this to be a much better game, but the Commanders outplayed the Eagles. I called that game. The Commanders they had 3 fumbles. They shot themselves in the foot, but
Yeah,
the Commanders, dog, you know how they felt out here. You know how gutted they was out here about that game. They was hurt.
Got my nerves every fucking day.
I ain't gonna lie, I loved it.
Bruh.
I was walking around the grocery
sitting
store
there
like, hey,
laughing.
what's going on? Where your little W hats at? Where's all that shit at?
Bruh, man, I'm going up like this.
Dog, I walked up to everybody. Hey. You guys commanded a real good audience last night. Too bad you couldn't command a win.
Y'all didn't take a commanding lead in that game. Like it was bad, bro. They was, I say, so butthurt. Shoot, my own plant manager didn't show up for 2 days.
Oh, dog, hey. I ain't gonna lie. I was on Teams the next day. I was on Teams at the meeting like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's everybody do? How was everybody's weekend? What did everybody do this weekend? Great Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay. Well, Cheryl, open up the Outlook. Let's see what we got on the docket today. Stop, Sierra.
It was bad, man.
They're not always. I just messed up today. Don't do that. She said she got me for my hands is ashy. You don't say always, Sierra. You're supposed to come in here and ask on the low. And it be your own people. I know you one of us, Sierra, coming in here with your bougie Eiffel Tower avatar. Show your ashy hands.
Man. Hey, she looking that close? She looking at your hands?
Sierra tried to go on me real quick, man. It's cool. I know because I know she one of us because she would only one of us would be like, this nigga's ashy, bro. Yeah.
Man, your ankles
this nigga's ashy, bro.
Man.
Yeah, like, hey, cool channel, nice show. Nigga, you was ashy. You was yo.
Get that together. Get that
together, man.
I know you ain't no hand, mob.
You ain't no hand guy, but hey, brother, for what it is, though, you was in here baking cakes during the show. We saw you. You got some business together during the show. You know what I'm saying? I got the LeBron clap. Here we go. Hey, yo, let's go. All I know is that, if I ever meet you in public, if your hands is ashy, I'm putting you on blast. I'm going live immediately. Just for Sierra.
Yeah,
hey,
you gotta go live on.
So what do you got coming up? What are you doing for the rest of it? Like, hey, bro. What's going on with you in content creation, man? Like, you be around? What's up?
I be around. It's just because I play flag football and I travel for flag, and then I work for the post office. I'm a supervisor overnight, so I try to jump here and there. Like if I can link up with people, I can. Cause like we live in the same area, so it's not hard for me and you to link up. But
Right.
when I jump on Grant Cohen show, I'll try to catch it. Cause when I get off work at 7 in the morning, I gotta take my kids to school, get
Mm-hmm.
home, get some sleep, or go to the gym. Then I'm chilling until like shoot 8:30, 9 o'clock before I gotta go to work, and I work 5 days a week.
Man,
So
you know my man E.C. Coleman that played flag, Eric.
yeah,
Eric went to Bowie.
yeah.
That's my dog. I was like, you play flag. I know exactly who you know.
Yeah, so like and the thing is, we just came from nationals like a couple of weeks ago
How y'all do?
in Florida. We made it to the semifinals. We played co-ed. I played men's. Shoot, it was too much going on. It was a fight in nationals. It was a lot going on for no reason. You can't.
Y'all
I
old
keep trying
dudes
to
need
tell
to
people
hang it up,
it be
man.
GMV versus everybody. Do not try to go against anybody. Like, and the thing is, you even got to vouch for the Baltimore people down there. You got to stick up for the Baltimore people. You
Yeah,
can't
we
let
all
no
kind
out
of
of town
that
people.
45-minute drive gets real small when we get out of town. They be like, "What's up, brother? You from Baltimore? I'm from DC. What's up?" They have no idea we don't rock with each other. What's up, man? We're from the same area.
People be looking at you like, I thought they don't like each other.
I thought they don't
We
like
out
each
of
other.
town. We out of
Yeah,
town. It's a whole different thing.
it's a whole
I'm not
family when
gonna
we out
let
of
you
town.
go on him, and I'm from the same area. Ain't gonna work like that. We going on you
100%.
together. But yeah, like
All right,
whenever
bruh.
like I got time to jump on anybody's stuff, I try to like here and there. So you ever want me to jump on, just let me know.
Hit me, man. I'm not gonna do this again, man. Hit me on Twitter, bro. Hit me in my
Okay.
DMs. We
All
gonna
right.
rap, bro. All right, we
All
gonna
right,
close
bet.
out. Holla at you, brother.
All right.
All right. Close me out, man. Your phone better not mess up. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Look. It's Sierra. Hold on. Sis. Hold on. Where's she at? You know what? I know you just looking out for me, sis. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the shea butter around. I was looking for. I usually be having the shea butteries in the arm distance, sis. You know I'm a sucker for my sisters, man. I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry. You know she just trying to make sure I look right. My bad. My hands was ashy, Damon. You know what I'm saying? My bad, bro. So
Don't know what you're saying. I know nothing about it.
you don't know about being ashy?
I know. I mean, I know about it, but
Have you
I
ever
got
been ashy as a white man? Have you ever been ashy, Damon?
seen white guys get ashy. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't like. I get dry skin, but I don't like. It doesn't change color. Like
Hold on,
it doesn't,
whoa,
it
whoa,
doesn't look
whoa,
different.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
We're
don't
about to
know.
debunk some myths in here today. White
It's
people
actually
get
just getting
ashy.
dry.
White people
It's
get
actually.
ashy.
I get ashy. Yeah, I'm ashy right now. If that's the case.
All
I
right,
don't really
if
know what the term means because like my nieces and nephews are mixed and they'll tell me stuff like that and I'm like okay cool but I don't actually know what it means to be
we
honest.
can talk about this. This is a safe
Yeah,
space. This is a safe
yeah.
space. So
Just
one,
mean dry skin.
do you know what the biggest organ in the human body is?
Yeah, the human skin.
The human skin, of course. Look at you. You're halfway there. Secondly, sir, do you see these ashy hands of mine? Do you see this ashy hand? We're about to have, look, I am about to sacrifice my ash for a public experiment, okay? This is how much I care about the state of ash between the white man and the black man, okay? So I'm ashy right now, all right? I wash my it's rather cold out in my neck of the woods. I washed my hands a couple of times before I got on live. And I didn't replenish. I didn't use a sealer, right? I didn't have cocoa butter, right? I didn't have any shea butter. These are all different mechanisms to combat ash. Okay?
Okay.
Ash is dry skin. Nobody said anything about the color of your skin.
I thought it made it look like it's like the reason. This is just what I thought. I thought
We
it
can
was
talk about
because it
this.
like makes your skin look like it's ashy, like it literally starts to like look like it's a different color when it's all dry, and that's why it was like a big deal. I didn't know. I get dry skin like anybody else does, but I didn't know.
Okay,
I honestly
that's
never knew
awesome.
why it was like that.
So sticking with ash, I see that you're hung up on the look of ash. and not the
That's
feel
what I
of
thought it was.
Ash.
Oh, okay.
The feel of Ash. Okay, so
Okay.
when any man, black, brown, blue, white, pink, purple, when you scratch, okay, on your skin, and there's a goddamn chalk dust trail that flies up under your nails, you, sir, are ashy. That's where ash comes from. Nobody's immune to ash, brother. Some of the most racist people in the world would be devastated to know that they get ashy just like the black counterparts that they hate. They would be floored to understand that just because you can see my ash does not mean that there's an absence of ash for you, sir.
Oh, for sure,
So
yeah.
that's all I'm saying, man.
I thought in your community,
Ash knows no color.
Okay.
Ash knows no color. So moving forward, that's a nice conversation that we've had about Ash. Let's get to my man right here, Asa 86, my guy. Okay, hey, $50, my guy. Hold on, because he thinks I don't remember. He thinks I don't remember. Hold on. Hold on, no. It's my shorts. Hold on. Taraf, Asa 86. That's great. Thanks. Just happened to tune in when you were live. I'm glad I did. The skincare advice is priceless. Taraf. Yes. Look, hey, let me tell you something. Ash, okay, guys, we learned something great today. You see somebody you see a black man walking around, all right? The next black person you see, if you're white, walk up to that black person and say, brother, you got any lotion or anything? I'm ashy. And watch their face light up with joy and kindred. They will feel seen. They will feel like a human being. If you are white, walk up to the next black person, the next moisturized black person you see. It's easy to see with black people. You look, you may catch a sheen in the light, right? The next brown person you see. I know my brown brothers and sisters, they use their Vaseline and lotion. And you see him and walk up to him and say, hey, bro, I'm a little ashy, man. You got some Vaseline? You got some lotion? You got any, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little ashy. That'd be the best dude you meet all day. I'm telling you, he might bring you home for dinner. I'm telling you, try it. Go ahead.
Can I get some shea butter? I'm a little dry over here.
Coming over for dinner. What do you want to eat?
Ribs.
It works. And he wants ribs. Move on. What do you got, bro?
So I wanted to clear up a couple of things because apparently I did not make myself clear. What I was talking about earlier is not what I think is the best option or the best scenario for the 49ers. What I was trying to do is explain that it's unlike, we're not going to get Mason Graham. We're not going to get Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever your top guy is at tackle, defensive tackle, or edge, like that guy's going to be gone at 10. Sorry, that's funny. So what I was trying to say is like there's other guys you can get that are premium players at a position that is also a need. And I was trying to say what I think the 49ers may end up doing is going and getting like a tight end or something like that who's the best player on their board at a position of need, even though out here we're going to be trying to figure out why the hell they're not getting trench players because we all want them to get trench players. And so the more I think about it like that, of what the 49ers might actually do, the more I don't want them to get Tyler Warren, but if they end up getting Tyler Warren because he's the only guy, like the top 2 defensive tackles are gone, the top 2 edges are gone, the top 2 tackles are gone, those guys are all gone, and they draft Tyler Warren because he's the best player on their board, I'm okay with that because I'm thinking about the 49ers the way they're built, not the way that I wish they were built. And I am talking about the 49ers based on how Kyle Shanahan wants to run his scheme, not how I wish he would run his scheme.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. So them picking up a tight end, if he turns out to be a legit high-end tight, even if he's not a generational guy, if he's a legit high-end tight end and you pair him with Kittle and you look at Brock Purdy, right? So you know I'm a Brock Purdy guy, and I don't mind if you tell the whole world that I am a Brock Purdy guy.
I love to do it every time.
But I've also been very clear that this season, what Brock showed us is that he is trending away from elite or what? Actually, I'm not even use that word. He's trending away from high-end franchise starter and trending towards bridge franchise starter. So the fact is, I guess this is what bothers me. We're not going to get Mahomes. We're not going to get Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. We're not going to get that guy. We have to work with what we have at quarterback. We have a quarterback who is really good if he has certain conditions. He's very, very good. We know that he has some limitations as far as his arm strength goes. So if you're going to build it, if he's going to be your starter going forward, because you know that if you do put a good offensive line in front of him, if you give him a run game and a defense, he can take you the distance. He's shown that he can do that. So they're going to pay him. He's going to be our quarterback. Given that that's the case, shouldn't we build the team according to what the team actually has under center and go get another tight end that makes Brock better instead of going and getting a perimeter guy that might not make Brock better? On top of that, Kyle Shanahan does not play wide receivers in their rookie year. Drafting a high-end wide receiver is not going to help us this year. That's going to help us 2 years from now.
All right. So I hear you. And I still disagree. I love you, but I can't lie to you. I disagree. And I
think they're going to take Walter Nolan, for the record. That's what I think they're going to take.
I would love for them to take Walter Nolan.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But to your point, let's just stay there. All right. Instead of me giving you my, statement, let's just keep it right there. All right. But don't you think that interior defensive tackle is more important than tight end?
Not if it's the third or fourth guy, because I can get that. Okay, so if I'm going to get the third defensive tackle, right, I can get that same guy in the second round.
All right, now, so hold on. So hold on. So in my opinion, there's two defensive tackles in the league right now: Mason Graham, Walter Nolan. We'll say that, right? Yeah. Can we agree on that? All right. Sure. So if you're looking at Mason Graham and Walter Nolan, then you don't want to get the third guy. Then what do you say about Colston Loveland and Mason Taylor still being there if you're picking Tyler Warren at 11?
So
hold on. And what's more important to you? Let's not think situation. Let's just talk about football. What would you take first, a tight end or a D tackle?
Of course, a defensive tackle.
Me too. Right. So let's stay there. So if we can agree on that, and you know that this year's draft is a deep defensive tackle draft, right?
And tight end.
I would say there's 3 tight ends that are worth drafting in the top 50.
Yeah, when I say deep, I mean you can get a good tight end in the third or fourth round. That's what I mean. Like you can still get a good tight end, like with one of your third round comp picks, for instance.
Okay, but for context, as far as DTs are concerned, there's only two top 5 defensive tackles. Two guys. It's Mason Graham and Walter Nolan. Shamar Stewart is a fringe first round guy. Derek Harmon and Kenneth Grant, those are like late first round picks.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pick at 11, wouldn't you want far and away the biggest gap of talent, those players, rather than guys that you're going to get? Yeah, okay, you get Tyler Warren, but Colston Loveland is not far behind.
So on that,
even if you like Tyler Warren,
I think that we disagree with the gap there. I really think that people, because there's so much talk about Tyler Warren, a lot of people are trying to kind of push back on how good he is. One of the reasons he was the primary target for Notre Dame, I understand their wide receivers were terrible,
They
and
were
that's why he
trash.
got so much. Okay. But he's a 6'6", 255, 260-pound dude who does not – he runs like he's 6'4", 240, not 6'6", 260. Like, the dude is big and moves. It's rare to find a guy who's that big and moves the way he does. If you bring up his numbers, the dude is really he doesn't seem like he's that big because of the way he moves. You put him in the same tight end room with George Kittle for 3 years, and you might have a generational tight end because he does have generational traits. At 6'6", 255, 260.
I'm not trying to play small ball. I'm not trying to win the world's shortest midget contest. Like, who cares if we have the best small ball offense? Like, that ain't still going. That's, you know what that is? That's still kicking the can around what we truly need to do, and that's have a receiver that can take the top off the defense. I don't care how many tight ends we get. That still doesn't change the fact that we don't got a receiver that can do that.
But I
So,
don't think you have to draft
engineering
guys
around that. I think I'm sorry for cutting you off, but engineering around, I feel like picking up Tyler Warren in the 11th for the 11th overall pick is engineering around the problem instead of facing it head on. Right? You got to face the receiver. Like you get out of the receiver issue the same way you got in it. You go get a good receiver. You don't go get you don't acquire other positions to supplant for a position that you need anyway, and you don't have, right? Getting Tyler Warren is kind of like sticking your head in the sand a little bit. You don't think so?
No, and the reason I don't think so, number one, we don't have like a legit. I don't think the wide receivers in this class, except for the
And
guy,
you know, and that's not excuse. Hold on, and I'm sorry. And Frisco Shields, that's still not an excuse for not going out to go get a true X receiver.
I agree.
So we got to fix it all.
I totally agree with you on the premise that we need to get a legit number one wide receiver on this team. What I'm saying is I don't think this is the draft I want to do it in. I would rather take a Tyler Warren in this draft than a wide receiver at 11 because I don't think the wide receiver that you get at 11 is going to be special. I only think there's maybe one or two legit number one wide receivers even in this draft, except for that day 3 guy that hits the Amon-Ra St. Brown version of this draft. And then here's the other thing. If you draft a wide receiver, there's a chance he plays early just because of the injury issue, but he's not going to play over Deebo or Jawan or Pearsall. And I'm not saying that because I don't think he should. Even if he's a little bit better than them right out the gate, Kyle Shanahan is not going to play a wide receiver who's a rookie over those 3 guys. He will play a second tight end. Yes, he doesn't care where they're drafted. He already said Ayuk would not have played his rookie year, and he was drafted at 25. He was drafted in the first round also. The only reason that Brandon Ayuk played his rookie year is because of the injuries. Kyle has said that publicly. Kyle Shanahan is not going to play a rookie wide receiver. You're still going to have the same wide receiver core even if you draft a guy at 11. So I would rather wait till next year when there's a better wide receiver class, get a guy late in the first round who's a legit number one wide receiver rather than reach for a guy and get a guy at 11 who's the second or third wide receiver in a receiver class that's not even that good. Or take a chance on a high-weight speed guy in the second round. I'd much rather do that because I think that Tyler Warren is going to have an immediate impact this year because you're going to go with 2 tight end sets constantly. He's going to be on the field a lot. And he also gives you long-term. He's a short-term and a long-term hole plugger. That's why I like – and I hate that I'm having to, defend, the Tyler Warren pick.
You are pounding the table for a tight end at 11.
I don't want that to happen. The case I'm trying to make is if that's what we do, I don't think anybody should panic. I do think it's a good pick. It's not what I would prefer. I would prefer that we get that Will Campbell falls to 11. I would prefer that Walter Nolan falls to 11. I would prefer that one of the top 2 edge guys falls to 11, or Wilt Johnson somehow falls to 11 because the team that takes a corner likes a different guy more. Like those are the things that I hope happen. What I'm saying is there's a real chance that none of those things happen. That all the guys that are the blue chip players that fill a need for the 49ers are gone at 11. If that's the case and we take Tyler Warren, that's sneaky still a really good pick because it fills an immediate need in the passing game and it fills a long-term need with George Kittle getting older. I don't think Tyler Warren in the first round is a bad pick. Preferably you back up to 15 or 18 and then pick them there. That would be better even. I think that getting Tyler Warren at 11 is a good first-round draft pick. That's what I'm saying. It's not what I would prefer, but I think he would be really good, and he would totally change the way we play offense because of the ability to go with 2 tight end sets and go run-heavy look all game long and then pass out of a run-heavy look. Get back to the play action that we've gotten away from. It opens up so many things for the way that Kyle Shanahan calls plays. It opens up the middle of the field in the passing game, which is where Purdy likes to throw. It gives him a big target that he can throw to. It just we have not only holes, but this is something I know you agree with. We have deficiencies on offense. The way we call the game, the way that the scheme is designed.
Okay, all right. Chiming in.
That's the thing. We have to draft accordingly.
Okay. You said a lot. And I just feel like you're kind of you're skipping to the tight end element of this, and you're talking about we can keep 2 tight ends on the field. Listen, man, you can't keep 2 tight ends on the field if you can't fucking run the ball. All right, and if you can't run the ball because you don't have interior offensive line, all right,
yeah.
And you can't continuously run the ball if you don't got a defense that can stop the ball on the ground, all right, to give you the ball back. Or guess what? Tyler Warren ain't gonna be on the fucking field because we're gonna get ran out of the goddamn gym, and we gotta keep passing the damn ball. You see what I'm saying? So how can I say this? You gotta earn the right to have a Tyler Warren. We're not there yet. Okay? Tyler Warren is the finishing pieces of a running game that needs a little bit more dynamic, that needs more dynamic attributes to it. Where, hey man, we got a great run game and we love our tight end, but we got a double tight package that we really can't get off the ground because we don't have a guy that can kill, right? Like you go find a guy that's behind, do the work. Really? You're a professional coach and you can't find a backup tight end? You got to go to the first round? That's what you do?
Yeah. I
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, for me, I'm not attacking you, Chunder Boy. I'm not attacking you. I'm just, the logic is really letting these dudes off the hook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
For
trying
me.
to process it the way I think that they're looking at it. Even if whether I like it or not,
if they felt like they couldn't get it done to find what you're asking for, if they felt like they couldn't get it done outside of it took the 11th pick overall to go find that out of 7 rounds, you're not as good at your job as I thought you were.
Yeah.
That's my, you can't go get a Tyler Warren at 11 overall. You can't. Not because even if he worked, right? Let's say everything you're saying 100% true.
That's how
right?
it rolls, yeah.
You still aren't worth you're still not worth your salt and weight as a coach if you can't go find that productivity later in the draft. Right? Like you don't, the 11th overall pick, you want to get that guy where you damn near don't have to coach him. Like he's that much of a
yeah.
And I don't think that you do that for tight end too. You missed your window. You tried with Cam Latu. Ross Dwelly kind of held you down for a couple of years, and Eric Saubert was a disaster, if we're being honest. Right? Go get Mason Taylor. Go get Harold Fannin out of a junior out of Bowling Green. Right? Give Gunnar Helm a look out of Texas. Hell, I even like Mitchell Evans out of Notre Dame. Right? But for all of those names that I just railed off, Tyler Warren ain't that much better than all those dudes. He's better. But he's not slam like Colston Loveland right now. Mason Taylor and Colston Loveland are my number 1, my number 2, and number 3 tight ends, right? Behind Tyler Warren. You can go get Colston Loveland in the second round.
Yeah. What are his numbers?
Colston Loveland out of Michigan? Yeah. Hold on. Let me see.
While you're looking that up,
582 reception yards, 5 TDs, drop rate of 3.4. Out of the 5 TDs, his 4 of them were red zone touchdowns.
That's good.
Played 200 snaps this year. Yeah, did good. Second year, his 200, and his junior year, he had 649. He had 649 passing yards last year. So I mean, I like Colston Loveland, but not. Huh?
You have his height and weight?
Yeah, 6'5", 245. He's 12 pounds. He's 1 inch, 12 pounds. He's 1 inch shorter and 12 pounds lighter than Tyler Warren.
So, again, one thing I want to make super clear, because I don't, this is on the internet and it is permanent. Mm-hmm. So the one thing I do want to make sure, I am 100% on board with, I want them to fix the trenches. I want them to get Purdy an O-line, because it's not because, yes, I like Purdy. I'm a Purdy guy and all that, but that's not why I want them to fix the O-line. I want them to fix the O-line because Purdy is going to be our quarterback. If that's the case, then you have to give him an offensive line. You can't run it back with what you had last year and expect to have better success, because he's not the kind of quarterback that can do that. You have to know what you have, and you have to build accordingly. The mock draft that I sent you a couple of days ago, 3 out of the first 4 picks were offensive linemen. I took Banks, Gray, Zabel, and I took Jake Majors. 3 offensive line out of the first 4 picks. Because that is what, if I was doing it, that is how I would go about it. I would address the offensive line with 3 out of the first 5 picks. And I took Mitchell Evans in the 4th, and I took a safety in the 2nd round. Right? So
who'd you take in safety?
I took what's his name?
Give me the school.
I can't. Hold on a second. I'm drawing a total blank.
Kevin Winston out of Penn State?
No, it might have been the Alabama safety.
Oh, Malachi Moore?
It might have been him.
I love Malachi Moore.
I took a safety in the 2nd round because I thought I think that's a hole in our defense. We need a safety on the back end. We need to pair Mustafa with somebody more than we need a 3rd corner, in my opinion. I think we can get a 3rd corner in the 3rd round, 4th round. Like, I'd like to see us get a legit safety to pair back there with Mustafa to really round out the back end of our defense.
Well, how about this? Niners are at 11.
Mm-hmm.
We trade back. Mm-hmm. Trade back with Denver, and we pick up Malachi Starks. Huh?
I said and get Warren. Malachi Starks. Yeah, trade back and get Malachi Starks. I think that would be a terrific first-round move.
I still like Nick. I like. People they keep saying that this kid is a top linebacker, but I like Nick Emenwari from South Carolina. I like that kid.
Yeah.
Big kid, 6'3", 230. But he's not a free safety though.
Yeah. So, and the guy that I picked up, like the guy from Alabama, he's more of a hybrid guy. The reason I took him in that draft because that's the kind of safety I think the 49ers will draft. I think they're going to draft a 4-5-5 hybrid safety who can come downhill and hit. So, I don't really know. I want him to fix the trenches. I hope like hell a dominant interior player falls to 11.
This is really good too.
Yes.
Getting a safety kind of solves the Huff issue.
Yeah. So because so let's talk about a little bit broader spectrum real quick. I think we're going to keep Greenlaw because I think his market is going to keep his number down. 1 year, 8 million, something like that. He's not going to get 15, 18 million on like a 3 or 4 year deal from anybody. So we're going to be able to bring Greenlaw back, I think, for less than 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
You let Huff walk. If you go get Dahlman and Javon Holland, those are your 2 big ticket free agents.
What
Okay?
you really? You know what I always push back when you say that. We're not gonna get Javon Holland, Andrew Dahlman together, bro. That's too expensive.
Here's why it's not. So
Convince me. Yeah.
okay, so if you sign Javon Holland to an $18 million deal, his first year cap hit's going to be like $8 million. If you go sign Drew Dahlman to a $12 to $14 million, he's going to be in that range probably as a center. He's probably not going to reset the market at whatever 18 or 20 million, whatever the center market is. It's probably going to be more like on the high end, 15 million. And so that guy's going to be like $6 or $8 million against the cap as well. We're going to have $70 million in cap space once we extend George Kittle and renegotiate with Fred Warner as well. We'll either do a restructure or extend him. I actually think they might extend Warner too. He's got 2 years left on his deal, as far as I know. We also can restructure Nick Bosa for some money too if we need to. So we have tons of cap space. We can actually front load some of those deals if we want to. We have the cap space to get Holland and Drew Dahlman to go sign a Devontae Adams on a 1 year, $20 million deal because we can afford the cap space this year. And another thing to consider is we get more cap space after June 1st because the money that we get from releasing Javon Hargrave, part of that money we don't get until after June 1st. It doesn't hit our cap. So we get rollover money for the next year once that hits, or to make a trade midseason, so on and so forth. So as far as cap flexibility, we have the ability to get 2 high-end free agents this season.
I don't want to get 2 high-end free agents. I want to get Drew Dahlman and go draft. I don't want Holland.
If we get Drew Dahlman and Holland, just get those 2 high-end free agents, and then we go draft in the first round a defensive tackle, and in the second or third round we go draft a Gray Zabel or your boy from Georgia, or we reach and get a Jake Majors from Texas. Right now we've got 2 offensive pieces on the offensive line. We've got a dominant defensive tackle, a dominant safety on the back end. You can fill in 1 or 2 guys in free agency, go get a DJ Jones for a couple of years, and you've rebuilt the interior offense and defense in 1 offseason. And it only costs you 2 high-end free agents and 3 draft picks.
That's the thing. You're trying to get this all done, but you're making a lot of sense now because you want to get all of this done in the offseason, right? And I don't think that all this can get done. Yeah, exactly. All this can't get done in 1 year, in my opinion. I don't see that. Right now, your plan is with literally no other teams in the league taking a stab at our guys. My opinion is that you go after like-minded guys and like-minded fits, right? Holland would be amazing for us just because of our needs, but he's way too rich. All right. And on top of it, there's teams like the Commanders that are out there with a lot of money who needs a safety, by the way. Okay. There's a lot of guys out there who need these players. I want Drew Dahlman because I feel like the biggest thing about free agency is that, dude, you got to get in fast. It's a smash and grab. You got to get in there quick, get your guy early, and get the fuck out because you really need to start focusing on the draft and how you're going to focus out for the rest of the team, how you're going to bail out the rest of your squad. Really, I think that we need to start focusing as far as free agency is concerned. We need to focus on more serious things. I'm not that pressed on finding a starting safety out of the free agency when we don't even have our quarterback room together. Right? I would be much more galvanized around them getting a quarterback in here. So if and when Brock goes down, we have a viable backup who can actually carry our season. Like if Brock goes down, our season's not tanked. Okay? That's more important to me than a safety.
$6 or $8 million.
Huh?
You can go get a Joe Flacco for $6 or $8 million to cover you for 4 games because Brock cracked a rib again.
You make this shit sound so simple.
I tried.
We need to focus on getting a backup quarterback and possibly focus on getting the best center in free agency, which is Drew Dahlman. We handled
I think
those two things right there. I said the best in free agency.
No, I think
Who's the
he's the second
best?
best.
Who's the best?
So there's, I think the guy in Buffalo is a free agent. I have to list at home. There's another guy that's a free agent as well. He'll probably not hit free agency because these guys might get re-signed by their team, and this entire conversation is stupid. If Holland gets re-signed by Miami and Jude Allman gets re-signed by Atlanta, because those are the only teams that can negotiate with them right now. So
Right.
it might be totally moot anyway. But there's another guy who's scheduled to be a free agent, but is probably going to get re-signed. I can't remember who
You
it
said
is.
out of Buffalo?
I think the guy from Buffalo, and he's on the same level as Drew Dahlman. And then there's another center that's scheduled to be a free agent, but he's going to get re-signed.
Connor McGovern?
No, he's not. He's not better than Drew Dahlman. Is that the Bills center? Yeah. So
Yes.
he's about as good, but I think. And he's about as
Yeah,
good.
he's trash. He's got a 69.5 overall grade on PFF. Maybe a little cheeks there, buddy. It's the Colts center. How about the Colts?
Is it the Colts center? There's
Yeah.
3 good this year.
Oh, Ryan Kelly, Alabama. I know Ryan Kelly. Ryan's my boy.
Kelly. That's what I was thinking of. Ryan Kelly. I thought he was in Buffalo. Where is he?
Nah, he's out of wrong colors. Right colors, wrong state. He's out of the Colts, Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. I thought he was in Buffalo, not Indiana. But Ryan Kelly, who I was talking about, I think he's better than Drew Dahlman.
See, this is the
But I
stuff that
think
I'm
he
talking
gets
about. Great one. This is why I don't want Holland. Because of comments like this. Dahlman's not good at pass protection. And what is Jake Brindle? What is Jake Brindle, great one? Come on, man.
And Dahlman is. It's not that he's not good in pass protection. He's just better in the run game.
I don't care how good he is. No, you're better than what we got, bro. You can't look the gift horse in the mouth.
And he's not. It's not like he's a liability in pass protection. He's fine.
Yeah. All right, bro. Let's get some super chats out of the way before we get up out of here, man. Sean, 999, thank you. Coach, to your point about Kyle, he doesn't know how to be a ghostwriter. He's got to rap and write. Exactly. He won't let the artist eat. He doesn't know how to be valuable in the background. All in the videos, dancing. You know what I'm saying? If you want, hey man, if you ever want to come to a record label where you ain't got to worry about the producer, all in the videos, dancing all over the camera, then come to Death Row. Because that Kyle is on his Diddy right now. He on his take that. Serenity 999, just because you rock, Coach. Thank you, Serenity. Sean 199. Also, Brock can't throw the top off of defense. That's still not an excuse for not going to go get a receiver that can do it, though. If he can't, then he needs to get exposed. That's not me not liking Brock, but I look, man, I came up on teams. I played on teams and I coached on teams where, dog, if you wasn't good, get the hell out the way. If you can't play, then sit down. If you can't throw me the ball because our receivers is outrunning your throwing, that's a personal problem, bruh. That don't got nothing to do with us. So, look, are the Niners not getting receivers because Brock can't throw the ball to them? I think that's a little preposterous, especially if we're talking about paying them $60 million a year. Come on, man. So, give me your thoughts. I know you have something to say.
You're doing super chats. I was going to wait.
Nah, super chats are done. That was it.
So, the thing about, okay, I don't think you should prioritize, okay, we need to have a speed element from our wide receivers. Absolutely need to have a speed element from our wide receivers. And the fact that Brock Purdy doesn't have a 50-yard arm okay, does not mean you don't go get a speed wide. You still have to have speed wide receivers to take the top off defense, whether he can hit them or not. It's just not as much of a threat. If he can't hit them, defenses aren't going to honor it. But that also means that he can throw the ball a little early because he knows the safety's not going to run with the guy, so on and so forth. Not going to get in the scheme on that. Brock, the longest completion Brock has as far as air yards go is 47 yards. That's his longest completion in area, I believe. And you don't need to be able to throw a 60-yard bomb to take advantage of deep shots. However, when you have a quarterback whose arm is limited, throwing a 30-yard deep ball is going to be a much higher success rate than throwing a 50-yard deep ball where he can barely get the ball and it's going to hang because he's throwing everything he has into it to throw a 45-yard ball. So you don't just ignore it because he doesn't do it well. But you should prioritize the things he does do well if you can, is the point that I'm trying to make. I would prioritize getting weapons that match his skill set so the offense as a whole is better. I'm not saying that.
All right, so that's what we'll do. So what we're going to do in this year's draft is we're going to draft 5 tight ends, 6 running backs, and 8 offensive linemen because that's all the fuck Brock Purdy can do. So let's go ahead and get. Hold on, this just in, guys. This just in. Everybody sit back. Since we're gonna draft the only thing that Brock Purdy can utilize, let's go ahead and redo the fucking draft. All right. So here we go. Let's go. Tight end, first round, 11th pick. We got to pick Tyler Warren. Second round, who we picking? We got to pick what Brock needs. Huh?
Gray Zabel.
You're picking Gray Zabel in the second round?
I don't think you'll get him in the third.
Are you high?
I don't think he'll go in the third.
So you want Tyler Warren, a tight end, in the first round. In the second round for pick 43, you want the tackle out of North Dakota State, Gray Zabel?
Now, if there's a tackle of it, like let's say because of Simmons' injury, he falls, I'd be fine with that. Let's say, what's his name, Early or Easley is one of the other tackles. If he's there in the second round, I just don't think those guys will be there in the second round, and I don't think Zabel's going to be there in the third round. So you would have. It's a little bit of a reach, but yeah.
So you would take your first 2 picks in this year's draft and put it on the offense?
Why not?
Wow.
You said take tight end in the first round, not me. I would take a defensive tackle in the first round. That's what I would prefer. If I was the one doing the drafting, I'm taking a defensive lineman with my first pick because I think there's 4, maybe 5 guys that I am fine with them taking at 11.
There's that many guys?
Well, I think there's 4, maybe 5 because you have 2 defensive tackles and 2 edge guys.
Hold on. So you prioritize offensive line over defensive tackle?
No, I'm in this draft. What I want them to do is take a defensive lineman because I think there's 2 tackles and 2 edge guys that are both worthy of being picked 11 overall. There's potentially a 3rd edge guy depending on how you look at it because of the way we run our wide 9. So there's 5 guys that are all defensive linemen that I think are a good pick at 11. And I think that because there's only 10 picks, you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got 2 wide receivers and Travis Hunter and the other guy, I can't think of his name, and a corner, is a good chance one of those defensive linemen will be there at 11. So this entire conversation about tight ends is moot anyway.
For me, there's only 4 defensive linemen that I would be okay with at 11. Only 4. Okay?
Graham, that's Walter Nolan, Prince Jr., and Abdul Carter. Those are the 4 guys that you like. If you get one of those guys at 11, then you're straight. You run the card.
All right. All 4 are gone. Who are you picking at 11?
So if all 4 of them are gone, it's likely. So I think there's 2 tackles. I know you're not a big fan of Banks, but you got Campbell or Banks, right? So one of those guys, if all 4 defensive linemen are gone, one of those tackles is probably there.
You would still go O-line.
I would take Campbell at 11. I would take Banks at 11. I think Banks is a good scheme fit.
I think Banks is a guard.
He might be. I think Banks would be left guard and maybe kick out potentially after Trent retires. And the thing is if we draft Banks, because I think Walter Nolan and Calvin Banks, those are the two. Those are like, if I was ranking it out, that's number one. I'd say we take Walter Nolan, and number two, I think we take Calvin Banks. Those are the guys that I think we actually will take. Calvin Banks is what you're going to hear out of the 49ers is that they think he's going to play guard. No, we're not thinking about tackle, because he's going to be playing left guard. And the reason they're going to talk that way is they don't want Trent thinking that he has to look over his shoulder with this young guy. But I bet you, I'd be willing to bet you the plan is to eventually kick him out to left tackle. Okay,
I know who this is. Yo, so let me tell you something.
Calvin Banks
is play. All right, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to mandate to you. I'm just going to ask you a natural question. Do you think that it's prudent to draft a player at 11 that still has position questions?
Okay, so not if you have better options available, but what's the better option? You said all four defensive linemen are off the board. So who are you going to draft at 11 who is better for this team right now than Calvin Banks? Assuming Campbell's gone, because otherwise you would take Campbell.
I'd take Ted McMillan.
So that's just first of all, I'm not even sure he'll be there at 11. I think there's a chance that there's a team at like 8 or 9 that might scoop him up. I think you're going to have 2 wide receivers, a corner, a tackle, and 3 defensive linemen go. So the top 10 picks, right? 2 quarterbacks, all 2 right. Edge players.
Ho. So you said 2 quarterbacks.
So, yeah, this is what you can probably bet heavy on is going to be gone in the top 10.
All right.
2 quarterbacks.
All right.
Travis Hunter. The corner.
All right, so
Johnson.
One athlete.
Yep. The corner, Johnson.
So Travis Hunter, 1 corner. Okay.
Both edge guys, Prince Jr. and Abdul Carter.
Okay.
Will Campbell.
All right.
Mason Graham.
Okay.
How many is that?
Hold on, writing it down. That's 2, 4, 6, 8.
Right? So 2 other guys, and we know the draft is unpredictable. So what if a third quarterback sneaks in because a team falls in love with the third quarterback?
So your edges you've rate. Hold on. Your
2
edge
edges.
you've named Carter and
Prince Jr.
And Prince Jr. Okay.
Mason Graham, defensive tackle. So that's 3.
All right.
2 corners.
You still haven't touched defensive tackle.
So
you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 8. You've got 8 now.
Yep. So who are the guys
picks
that are left? Yeah. So who are the guys that are left that
Walter
you would
Nolan.
be comfortable drafting at 11? Right. So Walter Nolan is the only guy
Nolan's
left.
still there.
Yeah.
All
is there anybody else that you'd feel comfortable drafting at 11?
Walter Nolan is still there. I would say Ted McMillan out of Arizona would still be there.
So this is the point I'm making is those are the guys that are probably going to be gone. We still have 2 more holes to fill before we pick at 11. So what if Nolan and Ted McMillan are those picks? Who are you going to pick at 11?
Okay, so Nolan and Ted McMillan are gone. So now I have to pick now.
Now you got to pick.
And I'm at 11.
Left. Yep. And that realistically
Benjamin
could
Morrison
happen.
is too. Benjamin Morrison is too rich. Malachi Starks is too rich at 11. You'd have to trade down.
Right.
So right now, the boats we're looking at is we're like hoping for a mistake.
Correct. The only way
Because I'm not touching Kelvin Banks.
Yep.
It could be hold on. It could be either or though. It could be Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell at 11.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know
Calvin
if I
Banks
want Will
could go earlier if a team really likes him.
I'm not touching Will Banks.
So
Yeah, the way it's like, because I'm not drafting Tyler Warren at 11 overall. Hell no.
So that's kind of been the basis of the whole conversation I've tried to have today is the names I just gave you. It's likely that those 10 guys are the guys that come off the board ahead of us. And if in that situation where one of those guys you really like is not there, what do you do? Now, obviously, trade back and get a Starks trade, because I think
who on the low who I would not be mad at? Jalen Walker.
Okay.
Out of Georgia.
Yeah.
On the low.
Yeah. But honestly, that's a little bit of a reach though.
11, we would have to, this is my thing. We would have to expect, we would have to count on somebody like Cleveland Farrell in it. Like, yes. remember when the Raiders picked up Cleveland Farrell and we were like, oh, okay. Nice job, Oakland.
Yeah. The other 3 guys on that line are going in the first round next year. That's why Cleveland Farrell's so good.
Yeah.
So I think this is a realistic scenario that we have to consider as a fan base, that the guys that we think are good enough to be picked at 11 are not going to be available. Now, realistically, that's probably not going to happen. Somebody's going to make a mistake, right? Somebody's going to take Josh Simmons because they don't care about his injury, right? They're going to say he's the only legit pure tackle in this draft who's worth a top 10 pick, and they're going to take him even though he got injured.
He low key is.
Yeah, he'd be a top 5, top 6 pick if he didn't have injury.
He low key is the only real tackle because right? for real, Will Campbell's a guard.
He really might be. Movement wise, he looks like a guard to me.
His feet.
One of the things that you pointed out to me was that when a guy is 6'6", 340, sometimes on film it looks like he moves a certain way, but he's actually taking up more space than you realize. He's moving more than you realize. I think is kind of what you were saying. And I hope I'm not paraphrasing you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You butchered it, but it's cool.
I did. I probably butchered it. So, but the thing is so if Josh Simmons gets drafted higher, then we have a chance at maybe getting one of.
I'm giving you 5 seconds.
The whole point is.
Oh, you're back. Okay.
The whole point is there's a real possibility that one of those blue chip guys we want's not there. And if that's the case and we don't have a good trade back option, we're going to end up with a guy that we're not super happy about. And I think that of those guys, the Calvin Banks of the world, the edge guys, so on and so forth, I would rather take Tyler Warren because he fits needs immediately. He fits needs long-term. And of those guys that are still available, I think he's the best option. And I think the 49ers will think he helps their team. He improves their team more than those other guys do, whether we agree or not. So that's kind of the only thing I'm just trying to get people to wrap their heads around the fact that those blue chip guys we want just might not be there.
Yeah. Well, I think that now is the time to understand that if we got those 8 to 9 guys that are off the board already, it may be time to trade back. And not trade back for more picks, but trade back to live the fight another day. I wouldn't be mad at doubling down if Abdul Carter is gone, James Pierce is gone. Trade back into the deeper rounds and possibly pick up a Jalen Walker or a Nick Scorton. You know what I'm saying? Or if Mason Graham is gone and Walter Nolan is gone, trade back late in the draft. A Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M in the late 20s. That'd be a hell of a steal. Also, I feel the same way about edge, not edge, but safety. If ain't nobody pick up Malachi Starks,
Mm-hmm.
I would pick up Malachi Starks anywhere between 17 and 20. 15 and 20. I pick up Malachi Starks. I wouldn't feel mad about that at all. So, hey man, we're about to get up out of here. It was another great show. Tomorrow is the Super Bowl. Give me your prediction, bro.
I think people are really underestimating how dominant Philly's offensive line is.
Stop it.
No, so I'm never going to bet against Kansas City. I'm never going to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I've made that mistake too many times. One of my best friends is a Kansas City fan, and he got me both times. But I think that how do you beat a blitz? You run into it. One of the reasons that they break off the big runs they do is because they catch teams in a blitz. And then there's nobody. It's one player in the secondary going one-on-one with Saquon because they block up the blitz because they're monsters up front. So I don't think I think that they're going to run the ball. Now, Jalen Hurts has to play an A game. They can't win unless he plays an A game. He doesn't have to go shot for shot with Mahomes. He doesn't have to be a superstar. But he can't make mistakes. He's got to play his A game. And I also think that Philly's pass game is underrated in the way that they run the ball so much. They haven't needed the pass game. When they open up the passing game, they've had several games this year where they've absolutely blown teams out opening up the pass game. So at the end of the day, you never bet against Kansas City, but I can definitely see Philly getting on top of these guys early, running the ball. And I don't think Vic Fangio will make the same mistakes that we did.
100%. Hey,
I think Philly wins the game. I do.
Philly, you got a score prediction?
No. It's going to be sort of. I think the over under at 48 is probably pretty accurate. So I'll go 27-21 Philly.
Hey man, love everything you're doing. For me, tomorrow we got the live super watch party. All right, I will be calling the Eagles game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I will be calling the Super Bowl tomorrow. I'll be here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, and it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be my last watch show party for the season. It's going to be a banger. I'm going to be excited about it. Want you guys to tune in. It's going to be fire. I'm going to bring the energy, and we are going to segue right into our draft prep so we can really get into it. But guys, please chime in for the Super Bowl. I will be here. I'm going to call it. Definitely going to be here for the entire thing. And also, we hit 22K, brother. We still moving, man. We're still doing our thing, man. But guys, this is the coach and my boy Chunder Boy. Stay low and keep your feet moving. I'll holler at you.